graphic indicated, +6 in postseason. So overall seeking his 100th victory as the Chicago Bears head coach tonight. Louis Aguilar to kick off for the New York Jets as the Bears get set to receive. Aguilar, who played in the World League this summer for Barcelona, will be kicking off to Johnny Bailey and to Mark Green before this crowd, which is whipped into a frenzy as we get started. Aguilar's kick is fielded at the 6-yard line, and Bailey gets ripped by Eric McMillan, who may have lost his job as the starting free safety for the Jets in his 4th season, but clearly making a huge mark on special teams.
Yeah, you could say so. And of course, he's one of the fastest men on the football field tonight, the son of the great All-Pro with the St. Louis Cardinals, Ernie McMillan. And Eric McMillan has not sulked. He's not pouted, guys. He said, well, if I'm down to a special teams player, I'll just do it as good as I can. That's pretty darn good.
Jim Harbaugh, the quarterback, and he opens up with Neil Anderson, 35, Brad Mustard, 25, and that's Waddle in motion on first down from the 14. And Anderson goes nowhere. He is hit immediately by Dennis Byrd. Take a look now at the Chicago Bears. A lot of people were shocked and surprised when the Bears picked Harbaugh #1 in 1987. Now clearly the starter with McMahon gone, Tomczak gone. Anderson and Muster, the starting backs. Davis and Waddle are the wideouts. Thornton, the tight end. And the guys up front, the 4 veterans at the bottom, and then the rookie left tackle Stan Thomas. Jimbo Covert out for the season. Pat Boso is in there right now at tight end on second down. 10 from the 14. On a sweep, and a flag is thrown as Anderson gets to the 20. He is submarined by Lonnie Young, and our referee tonight is Howard Rowe. Field judge throwing the flag. And it will go against Chicago. Holding call. And that will back Chicago up even further as we look at the Jets, who now play a 4-3. Washington, Mercereau, Bird, their leading sacker last year, and Lageman, the right end. Mo Lewis, Kyle Clifton, the steady, solid, and unspectacular middle linebacker, and Joe Kelly. And then the secondary, Stargell and Hasty. Hasty is outstanding. Washington and Lonnie Young, the former Cardinal, who came over in a trade in June and won the starting spot. Second down and 17 at the 7-yard line after the penalty is marched off. Again, Waddle, who's been in motion on all 3 plays. The Jets nearly jumped, but there's no flag, and now there's a flag after the throw is made. Muster makes the catch, and there are 3 flags on the play. There's one in the end zone, one at the 4, and one after the play at the 8.
So one thing to watch out for, they're going to get Stan Thomas for holding the left tackle. If that hold occurred in the end zone, that's going to be a safety. This is going to be critical, exactly where they ruled Thomas was flagged for dragging down Lageman.
There are, as I look at the field now, there are a total of 4 flags on the field. One in the end zone, a new one at the goal line, one at the 4, one at the 8.
Holding, number 60 on the offense. 31, face mask, 5-yard penalty. Penalties cancel. Repeat, second down.
All right, well, the first penalty was the hold on Stan Thomas, the rookie left tackle. Here he is right here working against Jeff Lageman, number 56. Now, Lageman's going to go right to the inside. Thomas is just going to hook him and drag him to the ground. And you can, luckily for the Bears, that holding occurred on the 1-yard line. Again, if that had been in the end zone, that would have been a 2-point safety. And then Lonnie Young was flagged for the face mask, so a break of sorts for the Bears.
So after all that and all of the markers, we're back to 2nd and 17. That's James Rouse now in the backfield. They fake the draw to him, and Harbaugh has to unload, and Waddle makes the catch at the 33 as James Hasty makes the tackle. So the Jets were coming, and Harbaugh got rid of it. Mercereau put the pressure on, but Harbaugh, very cool and poised, picks up a big first down.
A total blow in the New York Jets secondary. I mean, they just release Waddle. He goes by 2 Jet defenders. Obviously, both of them thinking the other guy was going to take him. Here's the pressure up the middle. There's Mercereau dumping Harbaugh, who never sees this completion. But look how wide open Waddle is downfield. I mean, that is just a plain blow in the Jets secondary.
Gain of 31, first down, Chicago at their own 38. Opening stages of the game with no score. It appeared the Jets jumped, but there are no flags, and Harbaugh goes deep, and now there's a flag at the end of the play as Tom Waddle was back there with the Jets defensive back, Tony Stargell.
This could go either way. I mean, there was contact by both Stargell and the receiver. This could go either way. Let's watch it. Well, that's a tight call if that's going against Stargell, which obviously it is. You did see him at one time throw that right elbow in there.
Pass interference. Number 45 on our defense. Spot foul. Automatic first down.
A 35.
Very dubious call here.
Yeah, I agree with you, Al. By the way, for those of you at home, Frank hasn't left. We're having some problems with his headset.
I think I'm back.
Oh, there you are. I didn't want anybody to think that you had gone for a cup of coffee or something.
While you have been away, the Bears have extricated themselves from a big hole. They are at the Jet 27-yard line. That's James Rouse in motion, and they give it to Neil Anderson. And Anderson takes it to the 24-yard line, or he is stopped by Lageman. Welcome back, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you. The plumbing is all intact once again.
Yeah, you can do the rest of the quarter.
Stan Thomas on the left side is going to have a difficult time with that man, number 56, Jeff Lageman. He hurt his knee a little bit last week, but he still had that quick move on that play where Thomas was called holding him down near the goal line. Former linebacker that moved to defensive end a year ago, and he has still the linebacker moves, and he has a defensive end size now. He's up 12 pounds over a year ago.
2nd and 6, Chicago at the Jet 23-yard line. Harbaugh, great protection, and wide open, making the catch at the 17 is Tom Waddle, and he is out of bounds at the 12. Lonnie Young makes the tackle.
Well, you hate to say that Waddle is an overachiever, because I think that's an overused term, but he just seems to get it done. He's not fast, he's not big. Watch number 87 out of Boston College, a free agent, finds the open spot. The key to it, of course, Harbaugh had the time to get it to him.
Frank, he's not big or he's not fast. I'm wondering if he's invisible. The way he's running through the Jet secondary, and they're not really paying any attention to Waddle. I mean, that's the second time that he has been just wide open on a route.
He's caught 2 on this drive for 43 yards. First down, the Bears at the Jet 12. And they send Anderson in motion. And through the middle goes Rouse, and he is upended by Kyle Clifton after a gain of a couple. 10:43 remaining in the opening quarter. A beautiful shot from overhead. Soldier Field, Chicago.
Well, the Jets this time putting 8 men up towards the line of scrimmage, and that really opens things up for the middle linebacker. In that case, Kyle Clifton, number 59, is unblocked. It's a look the Bears have seen before. The Giants gave it to them a lot last week. They've seen it all season, and they've responded by throwing a lot on 1st and 2nd down.
2nd and call it 9 from the 10. Jets nearly jump again, but get back. And then Harbaugh just throws it away as the Jets were hot after him. Mo Lewis covering on the play. Waddle felt as if he was interfered with here.
That is number 45, Tony Stargell. I would say he certainly was. Meanwhile, Harbaugh about this time is in deep trouble, taking a deep drop and finally has to throw it away. Stargell, who was called a few moments ago.
Well, the reason there was no flag there is that the ball was not in the air and the quarterback was moving with the football. He had moved out of the pocket, and that's legal for Stargell to do that.
3rd down and 9, and the Bears have Gentry and Kozlowski in the game. 4 receivers, sending Davis to the left. They fake the give to Anderson. A flag is thrown. The play is dead. The play is dead. No play. Dennis Byrd was the guy putting the pressure on Harbaugh.
They may get Thomas for a false start.
Yeah.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 60 offense, 5-yard penalty, repeat 3rd down.
Last week against the Giants, Ditka put up with a couple of holds and another false start. And finally, in the 4th quarter, Stan Thomas, the rookie, just came out of the lineup, and they brought in Ron Mattis, a former Jet. Over on the left side, bottom of your screen, number 60. He saw that they were going to do a deal, and I think we're going to see Mattis come into the game, and the big rookie would go over and sit down for a while and think it over.
Like right now. So Mattis is in there. The Bears beginning this drive deep in their own territory. Again, Chicago with 4 wide receivers. 3rd and 14, and the pass is low, intended for Anderson. And so Chicago bogs down, and that will bring in Kevin Butler, one of the best in the league, to attempt a field goal from about 33 yards.
They were all over Harbaugh that time.
That's known as the pocket collapsing. I mean, Jim Harbaugh that time had people coming at him from the right and from the left, and a strong opening series for Jeff Lageman. Frank, you talked about his progress, and boy, he can't. Something tells me that he senses a little weakness on the left side of the Bear line, and he's taking advantage of it.
33-yard field goal, and Butler boots it through. 9:50 remaining. First quarter in Chicago. Bears 3, Jets nothing. Shamu doing a whale of a job, hovering high above.
Oh, and you think of all the sights that this stadium has seen over the years. Heavyweight fights, Notre Dame SC games years ago, and look what we've got there. We're looking for an airplane.
Full moon, a full moon on this 23rd night of September.
A ring around the moon. What's that mean? Rain tomorrow. You're into that? Ooh, a quick deployment here by the Chicago Bears. Pretty snappy. 5 on one side, 5 on the other, though.
Kevin Butler.
A new look, the same result.
Kevin Butler's kick is a bouncer. Fielded at the 7-yard line by Terrence Mathis. And Mathis breaks it all the way out to the 45-yard line. Good run back. As the Jets take over near midfield, Rouse makes the tackle. And we'll take a look right now at the New York Jets. Ken O'Brien. I don't have to tell you, he is not very mobile. He is prone to getting sacked very often. In his 8th year. This is their basic alignment. Thomas and Baxter, though they could open in a 1-back. Toon and Moore, the wideouts. Boyer was hurt last week. He's back this week. And there's the offensive line, and they've got to do the job tonight. White is called the road grader. Eatman is the longtime chief. Cadigan back from knee surgery. And they open with a 1-back set here on 1st down. O'Brien with the 3 wideouts into the pattern. He hits Al Toon, and Toon takes it to the 26-yard line. So he comes off a week in which they caught 8 balls against Buffalo.
And if the Bears are going to have a major problem tonight, it's going to be with the 2 wide receivers. Al Toon, he's 6'4" on one side. Rob Moore is 6'3" on the other side. And the Bears cornerbacks and Lemuel Stinson bought the deep move totally by Toon, but the Bears cornerbacks, they're 5'9" on one side with Wolford and 5'9" Stinson on the other side. They're going to try to help them, but you can't always do that. And if they get isolated, they're going to be in trouble. These are 2 great receivers.
29-yard gain. Jets at the Bear 27-yard line. Again in a 1-back set with 3 wideouts. That's Blair Thomas behind O'Brien. Play clock down to 2. And here's Thomas exploiting the right side for 5. Let's take a look at that Chicago defense as Wolford and McMichael make the tackles. The missing name, of course, is Dan Hampton, retired. Armstrong, McMichael, the Fridge himself, and Richard Dent, MVP in the Super Bowl in '85. Roper, the great Singletary, and Rivera. And then the corners. Walford is back. He was hurt last week and missed the game. Stinson on the other side. Paul and Carrier, the safeties. A look at Singletary. 2nd down and 5 from the 21. Baxter in this one-back set. The fake. O'Brien dumps it off, and it's dropped by Wisenhunt, who is the backup tight end. Rivera makes the stop. And it's an interesting thing with the Jets tonight. Boyer is back, but the second tight end, Dressel, is inactive. He's hurt, and Wisenhunt is the other guy.
Well, that wasn't with the Jets until the start of the season. He was with the Redskins. The Redskins waved him, thinking they could don't want to pick him up and they could bring him back, and the Jets leaped all over him. They may want to send him back after that.
At 5 from the 21.
3rd and 5 for the Jets at the Bear 21. 8:04 remaining. Opening quarter. Chicago leading 3-0. First down for Brad Baxter as he takes it to the 10-yard line. Wolford makes the tackle. So each team with an impressive opening drive. First down for New York, and they will spot it just outside the 10, so they can get a first down without getting a touchdown.
Both teams want to do the same thing, and that's run the football. And the difference is if the Jets have been able to do it, they run for over 400 yards in the 3 games they played with plays like this. Baxter, a good, strong running back. They're coming off a 500-yard year, but they had 168 yards last week against the Bills. Even though the Bills were hurting defensively, that's a lot of yardage on the ground.
For the first time, the Jets have 2 men in the backfield, and they give it to Baxter again, and he takes it to the 6-yard line. And a flag goes down at the end of the play.
Well, one of the good things that Bruce Coslett has to say about his offensive line is that they can move people off the line of scrimmage. And to this point, that's exactly what we're seeing. They are removing the Bears from the line of scrimmage, and tacked on to the end of this play will be a face mask penalty. Oh, and there it is. That's Steve McMichael. Puts the right hand right onto the face mask.
Half the yard distance penalty. Repeat, first down.
But the key so far is there have been some fine blocks at the point of attack. 2 plays ago, it was Irv Eatman, the talented right tackle, and that time the whole right side of the Jet offensive line got off the ball and moved the Bears off. There's Eatman.
It is still a first down. It is 1st and 2.5 after the penalty, and 3.5 for the touchdown. Baxter gets to the 3, and William Perry is there for the tackle. I think on that face mask, it's an interesting call on that face mask. It would have given them a first down normally, but on half the distance, they don't charge you with the down, and that's why it was still first down. It was 1st and 2.5, and you almost never see that.
Good move by Perry there, sliding off the block to Cadigan. Amazingly quick. What was the estimate Mike Ditka put on us last night? About 360 pounds. Still, he's like a cat.
That's Freeman McNeil set on a wing to the left, and on 2nd down, a little fade pattern and interference in the end zone. It's going to be 1st and goal, and the flag winds up right in the face of Chris Burkett, and there are 2 flags, in fact, on the play. One at the 6 and one in the end zone.
One of the flags comes in from the linesman at the line of scrimmage on the sideline, so it has nothing to do with the penalty that was in the end zone. So both flags aren't about the same foul. There are going to be 2 separate calls here.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 75, 5-yard penalty, repeat, 2nd down.
Well, that means because it was a false start, the play never happened. The play never happened at all, so the interference in the end zone just scratch it.
At the outset of this one, we have seen more flags than you'll see on June 14th.
And Irv Eatman did jump a little bit, and that, boy, that again, we've seen several costly penalties. That one really hurt.
That now makes it 2nd down and 7 for the first and 8 for the touchdown.
And they would have been at the 1-yard line.
Blair Thomas. And motion, and the pass is too high, intended for Al Toon.
He wasn't open, was he, Frank?
Oh, Toon had Stinson beat in the corner, and that is really not Kenny O'Brien. He usually is such an accurate passer. When he gets the time to throw the football, no one throws it any better than he does. He had the time, he had the receiver, and he overthrew it.
Oh, what a move that time by Al Toon.
Al Toon, as I mentioned earlier, is 6'4", and Lemuel Stinson is 5'9". There's Lemuel. Had a lot of knee problems. A gutsy little football player. Only goes about 160.
3rd and 7 from the 8. They can get a first down without the touchdown. O'Brien throws. It is caught by Burkett, and he is down at the 2. There's no fumble, but he appears to be a little short of the first. It is Rob Moore. Moore made the catch, and he is hurt. He pays the price.
Well, David Tate, number 49, comes in and puts a grade A shot on Moore when he's down on the ground. Quite frankly, I think that should have drawn a flag. That was a personal foul if I ever saw one, guys. I mean, the play was over. Moore's down on the ground. And okay, now watch this. He's down on the ground, and that's a little late. That's a little late, but there is no flag. I mean, it's aggressive football by David Tate, but he was, in my mind, a second late getting there.
And a yard short of the first down.
Right there. I mean,
hate to speculate, but it looked as though Moore is grabbing his arm. And they're out looking at him now.
I mean, that's not a cheap shot in the sense of trying to hurt somebody. I mean, I don't think there's any question Tate was flying in there, but
you look at him regular
draw your
speed,
own conclusion.
It's different. You can draw your own conclusion. Again, Tate is thinking he's lunging for the first down. He's got a full run to get him there. This is football, and it's a tough game. That's very close.
Timeout on the field. Back in a moment. The field looks all right, and Pat Leahy comes in to attempt a field goal, and this is a field goal that is actually shorter than an extra point. Spotted at the 9. It's a 19-yard field goal attempt for the oldest man in the league. 40-year-old Pat Leahy. Louis Aguiar, the punter, to hold. And so Bruce Coslett opts to come away with some points. He didn't want to go all the way down the field and have the Bears pull off a goal line stand. And on the road, he elects to go for 3 on a 4th and 1, and we're tied.
Showing a lot of respect for a very tough Bears defense. Good choice.
10.
Yeah.
They played some better games. Remember our regular season game last year in Philadelphia? The Redskins had a fife and drum to get out of there.
Well, I guess it's only fitting we're here in Soldier Field talking about Jim McMahon playing quarterback.
Next week, Eagles and Redskins. This game is tied 3-3. Aguiar kicks off, fielded at the 3 by Johnny Bailey. And Bailey, whose first run back tonight was 9 yards, is considerably better with this one as he takes it out to the 27, and John Galvin makes the tackle. 25-yard run back.
Stopped on the play by McMillan.
So Jim Harbaugh,
At the 27-yard line.
clearly number 1, and with McMahon gone a couple of years ago, and then they opted not to protect Mike Tomczak, and he went plan B to Green Bay. Harbaugh the guy, and their other quarterback is Peter Tom Willis.
He's already proven tonight that he is the man for kind of a rebuilding period of time for this Bears offensive line. Scramble around, able to get rid of the ball under pressure. He's a good athlete.
Anderson and Rouse are in the backfield from the 27-yard line. And Harbaugh has to pull it down and take off. And he's tackled at the 29 by James Hasty after a gain of 2. And Bruce Coslett saying this guy's playing well enough at the beginning of the season to go to the Pro Bowl.
Well, he's a tremendous coverage cornerback, and I think he showed right there that he's a fine support corner as well, because Harbaugh has made a lot of guys look silly in the open field. Harbaugh's a lot faster and a lot shiftier than a lot of DBs expect from someone coming out of the quarterback position. But James Hasty is a guy that's making a serious bid at a Pro Bowl berth this year.
2nd and 9. Stan Thomas is still out. Mattis is the left tackle, 75, and Brad Muster is out of the game again. He's been bothered by a hamstring pull as Neil Anderson finds some room and takes it out to the 37-yard line, close to a first down, and James Rouse, who is the man in there in place of Muster, paved the way with a nice block.
Stopped by Washington.
Anderson, of course, the one who broke the Giants' back last week with a 42-yard sprint down the sidelines and a leap of some 5 yards. He was out of bounds, but the ball was in, broke the plane of the goal line. I was down there looking at that before the game. I still don't see how he did that.
Yeah. And he's concerned about that 3.1 rushing average you saw there, that yards per carry average. And Neil Anderson has asked Mike Ditka. He's talked to Johnny Rowland, his running back coach. What am I doing wrong? What else can I do? You can see how close that is to a first down. And their response is, Neil, it's young. It's the season's only 3 weeks old. Just hang in there. Things are going to break. The big one broke last week, and Neil Anderson's as good as he has ever been. And by the time the season is over, I'd look for his same old numbers.
Of course, he's had some well-publicized personal problems, but did not play much in preseason. And Mike Ditka is one who believes you have to play in the preseason. And he's also had trouble fumbling the football. He's fumbled 3 times in all of last year. Well, he only had 2 fumbles in 15 games last year.
Third down and a couple of inches. Double tight end setup for Chicago at its own 37 as the Jets bunch together on the line. And Harbaugh will keep it himself and tries to lean for a first down, and he only needed an inch or 2.
Did you see that shift by the Jets defensive line about 2 seconds before the snap? That was a shift sensing the quarterback sneak by Harbaugh. I mean, that was a real gamble. They threw 4 guys into those 2 inside gaps. I mean, if that was anything to the outside, the Jets might have been outmanned. They took there is a great gamble playing the quarterback sneak, and they were right.
A gain of 1.
Well, they do it frequently with Harbaugh moving behind Bortz and Hilgenberg and Thayer. And Harbaugh being the good athlete he is, it's a good call.
I mean, they got the first down anyway, but it wasn't by any more than the length of the ball.
3.5 to go in the quarter. Game tied 3-3. First down Chicago, 37-yard line. Here's Anderson. Neil loves to run left. Hasty runs him out of bounds. Rouse again leading the way. Well, the Chicago Bears are unbeaten, but again, they've only won by a total of 8 points. And there it is, as you can see graphically on the right. They have been outgained in every game, and they're the first team in the history of the league to win 3 consecutive games by 4 points or less, and being outgained in each game along the way were the Chicago Bears. Greg Landry, who's the offensive coordinator,
and calling the plays this year. Mike Ditka has the override, but Landry is calling the plays himself.
2nd and 5 from the 42. Harbaugh going deep for the tight end and incomplete, intended for Cap Boso. They tried to surprise the Jets, but Lonnie Young was right there.
Lonnie Young, of course, is the Phoenix Cardinal that the Jets traded for, that replaced Eric McMillan. He 5 years starting as a Phoenix safety man, a good one, and he provides good coverage right here. Running stride for stride. He looks into the eyes of Bozo, and Bozo is looking back for the ball. He knows it's coming. Good coverage.
There is Eric McMillan biding his time, and
well, it has to be tough, Dan.
Yeah, it's not so much Bruce Coslet says that his skills deteriorate. It's just that Lonnie Young just proved to Bruce Coslet that he was a better player.
Harbaugh calls a timeout, as he did in a similar situation early in the game against New York last week. 3rd and 5 upcoming. 2:45 remaining. Opening quarter in Chicago. 3-3. And Dan will be up very early. Florida State against the Wolverines.
I will be parked in front of the tube. What a matchup this early in the season. Number 1 in the country, Florida State. Number 3, Michigan. But again, a reminder, that's 12 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock out on the West Coast.
3rd down and 5 after the timeout for Chicago. Game tied late first quarter. Harbaugh from the gun, protected well, and it's deflected at the line of scrimmage by Jeff Lageman. 4th down.
Good protection for Harbaugh, but Lageman is very agile, very quick, has those linebacker instincts, and timed that up beautifully to go up and bat it away.
Boy, what a strong start by Lageman.
Well, he had 2 sacks last week against Buffalo. He's playing on a knee that troubled him during the week.
Deep for the Jets.
Terrence Mathis is back to receive the kick. He's at the 15-yard line. Maury Buford, the much-traveled one in his 10th year, to accept the snap at the 27-yard line. From the 18, Mathis. Back out to the 29-yard line. Glenn Kozlowski makes the tackle. 2:31 remaining on just a spectacular night in the Windy City.
There's your room, Al.
Yes,
You're
sir.
sweet, brother.
Excuse me. What a sight this is.
I don't know that there's a city in America that has done quite as good a job as Chicago has as preserving this buffer between the buildings downtown and the waterfront of Lake Michigan. Every time I come here, I marvel at how pretty it is going down Lakeshore Drive.
What got me this morning when I was out walking around early was how clean this city is. They should be very proud.
First down, New York, from the 28. Johnny Hector and Blair Thomas by the backfield combination. And here is Thomas. And Thomas breaks it out to the 41-yard line. A 13-yard gain for the second-year man out of Penn State, stopped by Rivera. And how important it would be for the Jets if this guy begins to come along and stays healthy.
What a big-time move that was. You saw some of the skills that made him a #1 pick out of Penn State. Over 1,300 yards as a senior. Now watch this move back to the inside right here. A little juke and then spin to the inside. I'll tell you, the few backs can do that. And then he covers up the football. He did it all in one play there. Trying to dig it out there is Mark Carrier.
Here he goes to the left now, Thomas, but he can't turn the corner. He couldn't get the block, and Marcus Paul, the safety from Syracuse, comes up to stop him for no gain.
Boy, what a busy week Marcus Paul had last week. He had 16 tackles against the New York Giants, 11 of them solo tackles, and that's a busy afternoon for a safety. Filling in for the injured Sean Gale, and has done more than a credible job.
The interesting, Gale is eligible to come off of the injured reserve next week, and Marcus Paul has done a fine job back there.
2nd and 10, 1:15 to go, opening quarter. Game tied 3-3 as O'Brien throws, and the catch is made at the 50 by Rob Moore, who was injured before but came right back, and he's out very close to the first down. Donnell Wolford makes the tackle.
Be interesting to know how many hundreds of times Kenny O'Brien and Rob Moore have thrown this pass. This ball is delivered right on the cut of Rob Moore. It's in the air right there, and just enough for the first down.
Yeah, you don't go by where he was run out of bounds by Wolford. The forward progress is what counts, and it was an extremely well-run pattern by Moore, just precisely enough for the first down.
Again, that matchup, Rob Moore 6'3", Wolford 5'9".
Jets at the 49 of Chicago. O'Brien off the fake to buy time, and he's got an open man, but overshoots Al Toon, who gets hit very hard by Mark Carrier.
He must think he was hit by the Saratoga.
That's the help we were talking about earlier. They're going to give their cornerbacks, and Carrier can cover a lot of ground. He is great playing the outfield, so to speak. Now, that's Lemuel Stinson. He knows he's going to get help from the inside, so he sets up on Toon on the outside. Now, here comes Carrier. He's like a rocket. Toon had lost the football, but had he held on to it, he wouldn't have held on to it for long.
A great effort by Al Toon, but Mark Carrier doing just exactly what you ask of your free safety.
Toon probably hearing some tunes right now. 2nd down and 10, and that's dropped by Rob Moore, who was covered by Wolford. 3rd down.
Ryan's pass intended for Moore. Incomplete.
You know, that was a Ronnie Lott type shot that Carrier put on. You know, what was Mike Ditka talking about at the start of the show? About hitting is what gains respect. Well, Rob Moore here got hit on the ground. There you see him drop a pass. Mark Carrier serves notice that if you're going to come across the middle, you're going to get stroked. Bear football, I believe they call it. 1991 version.
3rd down and 10 from the 49-yard line. O'Brien lofting it for Moore, who's out in front, and he makes the catch and is out of bounds at the 5-yard line.
Ooh, did he get both feet in?
Well, no, they'll look at that one again, but that was a great catch on the part of Rob Moore. And arguing that Moore was out was John Mangum.
Well, if Moore got both feet in, I'm going to give him a lot of credit because that is tremendous use of the sidelines. I'm not sure he had them both in. Let's look at it here from high in the end zone.
4-yard line.
Concentrating. There's the right. No, that's out of bounds.
Well, it'll come back clearly.
Yeah.
Bill Fetty is the replay official.
Yeah, one.
Now the other one's in the air.
Yeah, the left was down the right side of bounds. No, I didn't. Still a superb effort, but this Soldier Field crowd, I think, is going to get what they what they're chanting for.
It'll come back, and it'll be 4th down as well. Tom Finken is the side judge in your picture right there, and they will be reversing it.
Yeah.
Well, it's safe to say that you will see it again because Moore had blown by Wolford, had him by 5 yards. And if O'Brien leaves it inside, it's 6.
Play is incompleted pass. Bring up 4.
The teams kind of stole the referee's thunder before he could make the announcement that it was reversed. They all jogged back upfield, and both units started to head for their sidelines before he could even make the call.
You know, we pick on the replay all the time. I frankly don't like it, but that is the replay at its very best. Not a whole lot of hesitation. It was fairly obvious to us. The official was right down. He was looking at a lot of different things down there, whether it was interference, whether he was juggling the football. They took one look at it. They knew it wasn't. They brought it back.
Agreed.
Louis Aguiar to kick. That's Johnny Bailey back to receive at the 10-yard line. 12 seconds to play in the quarter.
I also agree with you, Frank. That won't be the last time we see that pattern on either side.
Aguiar, the one-time Barcelona Dragon. His kick is fair caught at the 13 by Johnny Bailey with 6 seconds remaining. A 36-yard punt off the foot of Aguiar. Chicago trying to stay unbeaten. Frank mentioning at the top that one break the Jets get in a way is that Chicago had the Giants last week, and they've got Buffalo next week, and then Washington the following week. So you would think if there's a game you look past, it's this one. But then again, the Bears get a break because it's a Monday night game, and very few teams look past the Monday night game.
Now the week after they play Washington, they play the Packers, then they come back and play New Orleans. That's the kind of schedule you get when you go 11-5.
Harbaugh, a slow beginning, 2 for 6. Boso and Thornton are both in. The pair of tight ends. And Anderson takes it up to the 15-yard line, and that will conclude the opening quarter. Score after 1. Jets 3, Bears 3, and we'll return to ABC's Monday Night Football after this message and a word from our ABC station. Back with the second quarter, and ABC's Monday Night Football is being brought to you by Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, Jeep, and Eagle dealers, where you get the advantage. And by Midas, where brakes done right, nobody beats Midas, nobody. Al Michaels, Frank Gifford, Dan Dierdorf, Soldier Field, Chicago, gorgeous early autumn night, 3-3 tie. Start the second quarter, 2nd down and 9 for Chicago at the 15-yard line. Harbaugh on 2nd and 9, throws a sideline pattern, caught by Wendell Davis. Stargell with the coverage on the play, enough for a 1st down, and it's a pretty even first quarter on the scoreboard and statistically as well.
And very close. Even in time of possession, not bad.
And even on the scoreboard as well, 3 points each.
Interesting, the Bears again going into the air on 1st down. The Jets lining up, playing the Bears for run. And the Bears are not sticking with it. They will put the ball up in the air. This is what the Bears see every week.
First
Bears respected as a running team. Excuse me, Al.
From the 27-yard line as Waddle is in motion. They swing it out to Rouse. And a nice little move that he puts on Hasty, and then he loses the football, and the Jets have come away with it. The play is over, but it's recovered by Lonnie Young and the Jets. At the 36-yard line, he will get no advance after the fumble, but it is New York's ball on the turnover.
Boy, talk about gang tackling. I think Joe Kelly was the Jet player that may have coughed the ball out, caused it to come out. we've got one of the Jets down on the field. Let's watch it here from behind the play. All right, now there's Rouse. Hasty's there first, but watch Joe Kelly coming in, number 58. Well, no, actually, he was going across the front, and then it was Kyle Clifton, I think, with a hit from behind that actually got the ball out. And there's Lonnie Young, and they're going to rule it down. I can't get a number on which Jet is down on the field.
I think it's Mercero. I saw a Ford as the second numeral, and he'd be the only player on defense with a second. It is Scott Mercero.
You can almost read his lips saying, "I'm all right." And Mercero is going to get to his feet. But again, the Jets were forcing the Bears to go to the air on first down. They got the completion, but Luster coughs it up. There is Clifton, 59.
Got that right hand right on the ball. And the ball never even touches the ground. It goes right into the arms of Lonnie Young and never even makes contact with the ground. Kyle Clifton, who's already got an interception to his credit this season, is off to a strong start at middle linebacker for the Jets.
So early in the second quarter, big break for New York. 3-3 tie at the 35-yard line. First down. Trevor Maddox, who lines up on the left at the bottom of the screen, is an eligible receiver on this play. If they're thinking of trickery and deceit, and they are not, as they keep it on the ground. And this is Thomas, and Blair Thomas picks up 12 and a first down. And look out as Mark Carrier goes over the fence.
Whoa.
We're sold out here tonight, so you better get back on the field.
There was a key block out front that time by Rob Moore, the wide receiver, that was good for another 7 or 8 yards. Luckily, Carrier is all right, but Rob Moore, who's not only a talented receiver, but that time got a nice block out at the point of attack.
First down, Jets 23-yard line. Here's the give to Thomas as he takes it to the 20-yard line. Picked up a 3. He has now carried, has Blair Thomas, 5 times for 32 yards.
Interesting offensive set. Really 2 tight ends. Only Maddox has become a tight end, number 64, and Jets able to move it on the ground.
So Blair Thomas and what he averaged last season in his rookie year.
And you have to be impressed with something in excess of 5 yards a carry. I mean, that's sensational.
The other 2 rookies who did it, Ickey Woods in 88 and Barry Sanders in his rookie year of 89. O'Brien with about as deep a drop as you'll ever see, throws to Thomas, and he can't handle it. Roper covering as he juggles it along the stripe at the 10-yard line.
O'Brien right on the hands of Thomas. Thomas standing on the sidelines as there was no pressure whatsoever on O'Brien.
Al Toon must be saying, what do I have to do to get Kenny O'Brien to throw me the ball? Al Toon is standing in the middle of the field. Look at him there at the top of your screen. Oh. I mean, O'Brien had his choice of open receivers, but boy, Al Toon was right in the middle. Looked like the easier throw.
3rd and 7 from the 21. O'Brien under pressure and throws too low. John Mangum on the blitz that time, number 26, forced O'Brien to release prematurely, incomplete. And so the Jets bogged down, and Pat Leahy, who took plenty of vitamins and a little Geritol today, I'm sure, comes in.
We saw Pat out walking the streets today. Just one of the great success stories in NFL history.
37-yard attempt. He made a 19-yarder earlier. He tries to put New York on top. Aguilar to put it down, and this time he leaves it off to the right.
Just a flat miss. There is no wind. It's a perfect night. It's a good field to kick off. And we were talking to Leigh before the game tonight. He said, I've never seen a night like this in Chicago. And it is a great night for kicking, and he just leaves it right.
For years, Chrysler has stood behind every car and truck it makes with the industry's longest powertrain warranty.
Is Brad Muster, who played on the first series. Muster missed the first 2 games this season with a hamstring pull, then missed part of last week's game. Was listed as probable tonight, and indeed he has played, but it appears that James Rouse is going to be the man with Anderson in the backfield.
And the Rouse fumble doesn't really cost them any points because of that miss by Pat Leahy. And that's what a rarity that miss by Leahy was, inside the 40. He has made 98 of his last 106, and that dates all the way back to 1985. I mean, that's an extraordinary kicking percentage and accuracy by Pat Leahy.
2nd and 6. And Harbaugh dives, and let's see where they spot it. This is going to be very close to the marker.
What do you call that move?
Yeah.
Somebody opened the trapdoor, I think, and grabbed Harbaugh's ankle.
Again, the Jets with 5 down linemen. It's almost as if they're saying, we're not going to let you guys run the football. Go ahead and throw the football if you want, but we're not going to let you run the football.
Jim Harbaugh voluntarily goes down, and he may have been a little premature. And boy, he's pretty good judgment. But I think Mike Ditka would have rather seen a margin of error maybe a little bigger than that. That's one element that Mike Ditka wants from his quarterback. He thinks that in the 90s, your quarterback can no longer be just a stationary target. He has got to be able to get outside, soften up a defense with his ability to move. And Jim Harbaugh brings that to the Bear offense.
It's a first down. It's James Thornton coming out of the backfield and lining up on the left side. Rouse and Anderson behind Harbaugh, and again the Bears to the air, and the catch is made by Thornton, the tight end, and a first down at the New York 46-yard line.
Bears just the Jets just dropping into his zone, and Thornton finding the open spot. Harbaugh is right in sync with him. Lots of time to get rid of it, and Thornton just in the gap between defenders.
10:50 remaining in the half after that 24-yard pickup. Jets 3, Bears 3. First down Chicago at the New York 46. Again the fake to Anderson, and then it's nearly picked off. Lonnie Young coming over and had his hands on it on a pass intended for the other tight end, Caposo.
Safety blitz on the part of the Jets. Brian Washington coming on the blitz. The Bears picked that up, and it was good coverage by Lonnie Young to get over and break that up.
Ball seemed to hang a little bit. It took some time getting to Bozo. You can see him having to wait for it. And boy, that's just a perfectly executed play by the free safety, with the exception of not catching the ball for the interception. I mean, he timed it nicely, just didn't make the catch.
2nd and 10. Darren Lewis is now in the game. He's a rookie out of Texas A&M, number 33, the running back for Chicago. And they give him some early work, and he gets an early greeting from Dennis Byrd at the 45-yard line. And Tom Clifton right there with Byrd.
I think the two of them arrived at the same time. Dennis Byrd, a fun guy. There's Pete Carroll, the defensive coordinator of the New York Jets, flashing in the signal. It's a very improved unit. Carroll, a lot of years, a secondary coach of the Minnesota Vikings, and he's brought a lot of that Viking look here to this Jet secondary. And he does look like he just turned 21. I agree with Kenny Wolf, our producer. That's
3rd and 9. Harbaugh throws, and it's Davis making the catch, but he is short of the first down. Tony Stargell right there. So Wendell Davis is at the other end of that pass, but it's at the 39-yard line, and they had to get to the 35.
This was maybe an early arrival on the part of the DB.
You've heard of the early arriving crowd?
That was the early arriving coverage by Tony Stargell. No flag, no foul.
Maury Buford now to punt. And he tries to angle it out of bounds, and he can't. It winds up in the end zone for a touchback. So the New York Jets will take over at their 20. 9:02 remaining in the first half in Chicago. Still 3-3. Matchup from Ann Arbor, and that comes your way early. Noon Eastern, 11 Central, 9 Pacific. Florida State against Michigan in the second half of the doubleheader, depending on your region. Those games. Jets from the 20 begin with a move out to the 23-yard line. It'll be second down and 7. And well, we missed the Bears on Monday night last year, but first of 3 opportunities to see Chicago in 1991.
Then against Minnesota in our last game on the 23rd of December against the 49ers.
Yeah, it's the only one here at Soldier Field, and quite frankly, every football game played every day of the year should be under these conditions. I mean, it's a beautiful grass field. The temperature is perfect. Fatigue doesn't come into play at all. And the crowd here in Chicago is just sensational.
How many times you ever played when it was like here in Chicago?
Well, they always had an artificial surface on the floor of this thing, and it stunk.
Blair Thomas picks up 2, and William Perry smothers him at the 25-yard line.
I mean, I applaud Chicago and Soldier Field, the people involved here, for going back to a natural surface. It's really excellent. The players, to a man, appreciate it.
It's going to be 3rd and 4. The Jets, meanwhile, on the ground. Last year averaged 4.5 yards a carry. The league average last year was 4.1. This year they're averaging 4.2, and that's about what they need here for a first down. They need about 4.6. And they go to the air, and Rob Moore was the intended receiver with Donnell Wolford right there to break it up and force a punt.
Well, the way Wolford broke on the ball there, I think the hamstring is no longer a factor.
And he also had deep help in the form of Mark Courier. He took a shot at it.
But that's when you have a hamstring, one of the things that is really a problem is driving and accelerating. And Wolford that time really moved in front of the receiver. He got in front of Moore and made it very difficult for O'Brien to put the ball out in front. That's great play by Wolford.
Aguiar to punt. Bailey to receive. That's a good kick. 29-yard line. Bailey can't go anywhere. Getting right down there was Clifton. 45-yard kick. Timeout. 7:29 left in the half. Chicago and the Jets 3-3. And the Chicago Bears taking over at their own 29-yard line.
Craig Janoff getting a little artsy crafty on us.
On a night like tonight, why not?
Why not?
Boy.
First down from the 29-yard line. Thornton in motion. Thornton makes the catch, and that's an 8-yard gain out to the 37-yard line.
You know, guys, looking at that shot Craig gave us there of the outside of Soldier Field, makes me realize it's very appropriate that Mike Ditka is coaching here at Soldier Field now that he's become such an expert on foreign policy. And
Michael, talk it over with you. Anything you want to hear.
Personal foul. Number 97 on a passer. 15-yard penalty. Into the pass completion. First down.
Look at that spin move to the inside by Jeff Lageman. Thomas comes back and does get a cut on him, but boy, you can see the blatant shot to the head there by Marvin Washington. And that's what draws the personal foul, roughing the passer. You cannot go in there and wrap a quarterback on the head. The referee, his sole responsibility is to stand there and look at that quarterback. I mean, that's going to draw the flag every single time.
Moves the Bears into Jets territory. First down at the 47-yard line. Anderson. Oh, coming up, Lonnie Young to make the hit, and he gets hit as well. Young a little slow in arousing. Sir, you were talking about Mike Ditka?
Well, yeah, I remember he had a press conference this week and was asked what to do about some of the problems back in the Middle East, and he's got some solutions. He also has a new poster out, I guess, what, Operation Ditka Storm. Great support there by Lonnie Young.
I had a good visit with him last night. You'll see part of Al's interview with him last night. He will talk over just about any subject with you.
Yeah, well, we tried to cover things kind of away from football, and you can always count on Mike. He always has some interesting and unusual things to talk about. Eric McMillan has come in to take Young's place on second down, and the catch is made at the 39-yard line by Thornton, who then fights for a first down. He was originally 2 yards short, and now he moves the sticks. Mo Lewis makes the hit.
Well, that was a good catch, too, because Harbaugh had it behind him, and then he almost was stripped from the football, and he held on, fought his way for first down yardage.
That's all set up by the play-action fake by Harbaugh, and then he rolls to his right. But look at this concentration. It was not a good throw. The ball was low and behind Thornton, and he got a good bounce. The ball actually bounced off his knee up into his arms. The tight end with the biggest arms in the league, James Thornton, oils those babies up before a game, too.
From the 35, here's Anderson, and he is able to swing by Loggeman, and is bumped out of bounds by James Hasty after a gain of about 7.
And Loggeman goes immediately after the referee, complaining that he was held. I mean, he's got to contain on that play. Nothing's supposed to get to the outside on Jeff Loggeman, and he got tied up with Stan Thomas, who's back in at left tackle.
Well, he did work upfield, and Thomas was leading on that block, but he grabbed Loggeman just before he made his move to lead the block. Watch Thomas there, and he got him right around the neck. That's what Loggeman was complaining about.
I'd have grabbed him by the ponytail. That would slow him down, wouldn't it?
Second and 3. Darren Lewis is in the game. He's the fullback and leads the way for Anderson, who picks up a yard or so, and he is stopped by Mark Gunn, the rookie linebacker out of Pittsburgh. Going to be 3rd and short. 4:45 left in the half.
I'm only speculating about the being grabbed by the ponytail, having never undergone the experience myself. I could, but I would think that it would retard your forward progress. He has played some first half. Hairstyle excluded. Jeff Loggeman has had just an excellent game so far.
I think his barber says, if you don't look good, we don't look good.
Not bigger than he was when he came up as the #1 pick as a linebacker.
I think it's safe to say he doesn't have a barber.
3rd and 2 from the 27. Harbaugh dumping it in Thornton's direction, but at the last moment, it's Clifton right back there to help break the play up.
Yeah, we have already seen Clifton tonight do what the Jets have been telling us he's been doing for so long, and maybe not getting the recognition he should get. He's a leading tackler every year, and overwhelmingly so, and this time he roams back into the secondary, and he's in there for the pass defense, but he'll come on the blitz. He's a good, sure tackler.
We'll attempt a 45-yard field goal.
And he does a fine job in that 4-3 at the middle.
This is a 45-yard attempt for Kevin Butler. Harbaugh holding. Hilgenberg snaps. And the kick is short. I didn't detect anybody getting a hand on it.
No, I didn't see it either, but he sure didn't strike it pure.
No, not at all.
That ball came out of there ugly.
Poor kick. So Leahy misses, and then Butler misses.
No, I didn't see a touch.
Still 3-3.
#1 Florida State meets #3 Michigan.
Here, as he comes across the middle and is wide open. Mike Ditka says one of the things that Jim Harbaugh does is he makes up his mind. Look at Waddle there at the top of the screen, wide open and screaming for the football. It would have been wise for Harbaugh to look at him.
Jets take over, and Blair Thomas breaks one for a first down all the way out to the 45-yard line. Donnell Wolford makes the tackle. So the Jets take it out near midfield with 3:48 remaining in a half, in which the game is tied 3-3. 17-yard gain.
Pretty good move here.
Good scheme, too, against the Bears. They're great pursuing, and this is a little counter move. Sets up to the right and then brings it back to the left against the grain. And
45-yard line.
Trying to break it back into the inside.
Ooh,
Good
look
move by Blair Thomas.
A good move to escape the descending fridge.
First and 10 at the 45. Keep it on the ground to Thomas. And Thomas has already rushed for 60 yards in this half. Singletary makes the tackle at the 47 of Chicago. It'll be second down and about 2.
Where the fridge was right in position to make that play, and I don't know if he stumbled or what happened, but he floated right over into the alley and just fell to the ground.
Well, the scheme of the defense will take 72 right there, right into the play, and whether he didn't see Thomas, he just stumbled and tripped, and down he went.
He might have tripped. He might have tripped over the left guard, Dave Cadigan. They may have caught their feet together.
Second and 2. O'Brien, who is 0 for his last 6, keeps that string alive. Intended for Burkett, and O'Brien on the night is now 3 of 12.
Incomplete. The Bears 25. Stinson on the coverage.
And it will be third down and 2.
Third down and 2.
It's an open man, just a poorly thrown pass.
I'm not altogether sure Burkett and O'Brien were on the same page on that pass.
Look at Chicago, a veritable aerial circus.
O'Brien looked up to Burkett, had a few things to say to him on the way back to the huddle.
Third and 2 at the 47-yard line. 2.5 to go in the half. Game tied 3-3. Baxter, first down. Run out by Wolford inside the 40-yard line.
Forced out of bounds.
Well, the Jets' offensive line has everything going for them at the moment. They are just beating the Bears off the line of the scrimmage, and they can do just pretty much what they want to do.
Big Irv Eatman on the right side, Frank. He's one of the guys that's really getting it done.
Again, a counter play that goes against the Bears, always pursuing defense, and it worked well.
There's tomorrow night's lineup. Big Tuesday night as always on ABC. Full house. Home Improvement. Great new show. Roseanne and Home Front. Your primetime schedule tomorrow, Tuesday, here on ABC. O'Brien on first and 10 from the 39-yard line. O'Brien goes underneath and hits Terrence Mathis, who gets to the 19-yard line. Stopped by Mark Carrier.
When you can run the football like the Jets are running the football and the Bears right now, you can do anything and everything you want on the field.
2-minute warning.
19-yard line.
Well, the line up front gives O'Brien a lot of time, and that's always been Kenny O'Brien's need and necessity. And how do you find a guy more wide open than Terrence Mathis was right there? Disregarded by the Bears, and they paid for it.
Lost his starting job to Blair Thomas, and in fact he's been in for only one play tonight and wearing goggles because he was poked in the eye last week against Buffalo. 2 minutes to go in the half. Game tied at 3. First down New York at the Chicago 19. And that's Johnny Hector coming up to have a word with O'Brien before the snap. And it's a good thing he checked with him because he gets the ball and takes it to the 14-yard line where Perry and Singletary converge. The Jets have all of their timeouts remaining.
You know what Johnny Hector is saying? You know, Dan, what's the snap count?
That's
You're getting a call on a quick power type of play like that. You want to know, you want to get the jump with it, and so many running backs, and myself included over the years, you just forget that. You're concentrating on so many other things.
Ball at the 14. Second down and 5. Hector again. And that's Trace Armstrong knocking him down at the 14-yard line. And the clock continues to run. This is similar to what Kansas City was doing against Houston last week. Obviously, you're trying to get the ball in the end zone, but there's really no reason to call timeout here. What you want to do is score and leave no time on the clock for Chicago.
Got themselves in an interesting position right now. They've been running the ball really well. They got a third down and, well, call it 5. Kenny O'Brien does not throw a lot of interceptions, and Bruce Coslet trusts him to put the ball in the air.
Here comes the crowd.
Play clock is down to 8. Third and 5. And Richard Dent makes his presence very much felt. Johnny Hector stopped at the 19.
Well, they were going to try to trap Richard Dent.
He beat the trap.
They brought White, the guard, from the other side, and Richard Dent just shows a little too much quickness. He's going to go around the trap block, and Armstrong comes in from the other side. Now it's a poorly conceived play when both defensive ends meet the running back that far in the backfield.
There are 5 seconds remaining. The Jets need to call a timeout, and they do, and they called it with just 2 seconds. Chicago was... It appeared that the Bears were also attempting to call for a timeout. I don't know who it'll be charged to, but clearly the Jets wanted it as well, so they can set up the kick. So 2 seconds remaining in the half before Leahy attempts to give the Jets the lead. One more play, and with this timeout we can take a look at a highlight from yesterday. Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. We'll see the Eagles against Washington. Tremendous day yesterday. And what about Roy Green? He should be playing in old-timers games, you say? No, sir. The longtime former Cardinal. He's so old he played with Deerdorf. Had a tremendous day. Bubby Brister had a good first quarter, and then the Eagle defense took over, and Brister felt like Aikman last week in the Philly-Dallas game, and the Eagles win to go 3-1.
Next week, it's Roy Green against Darrell Green.
Yeah, Roy Green has lost a step. He's still faster than most outside men.
Here's Leahy with a 34-yard field goal attempt that is perfect, and that is the way the half ends. Leahy 6 and Butler 3 is what it amounts to after 30 minutes of play.
A veritable scoring bonanza.
What a bonanza.
Yes.
Mike Ditka. We'll hear from him at the half. And ABC's Monday Night Football comes back with halftime activities after this message from the NFL and a word from...
It's their big side of the playoffs in '88.
And for the Bears, quite frankly, they only have 36 yards rushing in the first half. They don't run the ball any better. The Bears are going to have to struggle to win. They've got to control it a little more on the ground.
Seems like the Jets are just saying to the Bears, you're going to have to run this football, and they've been able to handle that thus far. So it'll be an interesting second half coming up. We'll be back in Soldier Field with the second half kickoff in a moment.
So here we go as we start the third quarter at Soldier Field in Chicago, and Kevin Butler to kick off for the Bears. Terrence Mathis and Dale Hawkins to receive for the Jets. The Jets ending the first half with a Leahy field goal, and they lead 6-3. 1 yard in. Mathis. Past the 20. Stops at the 24-yard line, and the ball comes loose, but the officials are saying...
I don't know what they're saying.
Yeah, I thought I saw one official point to the ground as if to indicate play was dead. Side judge has to wrestle Dawkins away.
Well, you can see the one official standing there with his foot marking the spot. That's...
Halftime numbers are almost as equal as the score, which would be dead equal if we had not have had the one missed field goal.
Still, I go back to that 36 yards for the Bears on the ground. It's incredible that one of the most prolific rushing teams of the last decade in the National Football League struggles the way they have so far this season. Again, averaging less than 100 yards a game, right at 97.
From the 24-yard line, here's O'Brien throwing, and caught by Brad Baxter. He takes it to the 33-yard line, a gain of 8. Mike Singletary makes the hit along with John Roper, and Marcus Paul comes up as well.
We'll go back to it again too, Dan. It's like every other team that's playing the Bears this year. They are lining up to take away the run. They're not going to let the Bears run, and they're basically saying, if you're going to beat us, you're going to have to beat us with the pass. And they've been unable to do so.
Mike Singletary, look at the eyes. We'll get into it a little bit later about is this or is this not his last year.
Second and a short 2. And a busted play. And O'Brien takes it back to the line of scrimmage. It's going to be 3rd and 2.
Brian, the ball carrier, touchdown by ball.
That is not a part of Bruce Coslett's game plan to have Kenny O'Brien running with the football.
No.
And it's not part of Kenny O'Brien's game plan either, I can assure you.
No gain on the play. 3rd and 1.
O'Brien, not very mobile, as you all know. He hasn't been sacked tonight, but through his career, he's been sacked an average of exactly 3 times a game.
Well, we've got some confusion out there.
3rd and 2. And O'Brien, a short drop, but is able to convert. That's the first down to Chris Burkett, the former Bill, who's out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Now, you talk about O'Brien's mobility. I think one stat would say it all. In his career, he's thrown 110 touchdown passes and rushed for none. He's the only player in the history of the league to throw over 100 touchdown passes and not score a touchdown on the ground.
Well, now you talked about how many sacks he takes, a little over 3 a game, or just at 3 a game in average. That's a lot when you play 9 years, but he also is very durable.
From the 40, here's Blair Thomas exploiting the hole and taking it to the 50, and that's close to a first down. Perry and his pals make the hit.
And that was just an eradication of the Bear defensive line. I mean, they were blown off the ball by the Jet offensive line. I mean, they just got, they were passing the defensive backs.
Yeah, they were doing this in the second quarter, from the beginning of the second quarter right through to the halftime, and they come right out and pick it up again.
The middle linebacker of the 80s, and look at the block put on him by Jim Sweeney, the center. I mean, he takes Singletary and rides him backwards.
Sweeney's done a good job in the middle. He's played every offensive spot in that line for the Jets.
Mike Singletary announced before the season that this would be his final year. He has since backed off of that and said, well, I'm not sure.
Jets now 100 yards on the ground tonight and averaging 5.6 per carry. 71 of those yards picked up by Blair Thomas, and he tries to pick up some more, and 71 now becomes about 74 on a 3-yard gain, run down by Marcus Paul at the 46-yard line.
Forced out by Paul.
There's a time, Frank, you certainly would know more than I as far as a running back is concerned, but there's a time when you just got to put it down and slash in there and pick up a couple yards, and there was some hesitancy there.
Well, he pecked all along the line of scrimmage. The last move is a pretty good one, though. If you look at the yardage he got out of it, he got under one tackler, and I'm amazed at the way he can cut back when he is about to be hit. He can make that run cutback move. He is very, very quick.
2nd and 6. The Jets at the Chicago 45. 11:45 left, 3rd quarter. 6-3 New York.
And a lot of Bears on the line of scrimmage.
And O'Brien gets protected well, but his receiver, Rob Moore, covered by Donnell Wolford, and the pass is not there.
O'Brien misses another open receiver, and Rob Moore on the blitz, wide open. Had the man coverage, everything they wanted. O'Brien had the time to get it to him, and he didn't do it.
Severely overthrown.
At the 45, 3rd and 6. Four-man rush. O'Brien incomplete, goes to his checkoff man, Mark Boyer. It's the first time he's thrown his way tonight. Everybody was covered. O'Brien looking over the middle and to his left, and they're going to be forced to punt.
There's Steve McMichael coming off the field. Boy, what a great year he's having so far. Although he hasn't been in on much tonight, McMichael already 3 sacks on the year and no longer playing in the shadow of the great Dan Hampton.
They used to rotate him last year too, Dan, and now he's playing full time. He came into camp in great shape, ready to perform, and he has.
Here's Louis Aguiar kicking. Johnny Bailey back to receive. Bailey's going to call for a fair catch at the 7-yard line. And a marker is down all the way on the other side of the field, way away from the play.
Yeah, it's all the way down at the 10-yard line.
Yeah. Well, the Bears do a good job on the outside men. Sometimes they're a little over enthusiastic with the way they pump them around. The 2 men on either side of the field that come down under the punt. The Bears really beat them up.
Howard Rowe is the referee. The side judge makes this call, Tom Finken.
That flag is down on the field.
Delay of game against the Jets.
I would think the Bears would want him to kick that one over again.
So they're saying the play clock expired before the kick.
Illegal substitution on a kicking team, number 89. 5-yard penalty, re-kick, 4th down.
Dale Dawkins is the guy.
An illegal substitution.
Yeah, that's one of those things where you wish it was clarified a little bit more by the referee.
Like who was illegal?
Yeah, like why? Al Roberts is the special teams coach for the Jets. Haslam trying to figure out what the problem is as well. So now Aguiar to kick again. And this is another good kick. This time the fair catch will be called for as a decoy. And that penalty winds up in the Jets' favor. Instead of at the 7, Chicago now takes it at the 4. It's down by Mo Lewis. Aguiar going over to thank the side judge.
McCaskey, chairman of the board of the Bears, stopped by the booth a while ago and said, well, sorry we're not playing so well.
His team is backed up to its own 5-yard line. They trail 6-3. 11-12 to go, third quarter. Anderson takes it out to the 9-yard line. Bill Pickell makes the tackle. Yes, Bill Pickell, the old Raider. Plan B pickup. Here's a reminder again, next week we go to RFK. It'll be a big weekend in D.C. Redskins hosting Philadelphia.
Going in a little early to help Joe Gibbs with one of his charities, Youth for Tomorrow home that they have, working with the inner city kids, and have a big barbecue and auction set for Manassas, Maryland, and Rutherford, Virginia.
Second down and 6 at the 9-yard line. Anderson again. You know, it's a funny thing about Anderson, and we should point it out because you probably read about it. He's got a few things on his mind. His mother died a couple of years ago, and his father is now involved in a situation where he is being held for murdering his girlfriend. His father is in custody in Florida and awaiting trial. So it's with that and some other things on his mind that Neil Anderson enters the 1991 season.
There's a young man that has gained over 1,000 yards in each of the last 3 seasons and is principally responsible for the Bears' win over the Giants a week ago. The sensational dive into the end zone at the end of a 42-yard run.
Third down and 5 from the 11-yard line. As Harbaugh airs it out and no Bear is there, and it's only not intercepted because Lonnie Young couldn't figure out which way to turn.
Well, Wendell Davis and Jim Harbaugh somehow miscommunicated, misread the defense. You can only assume on a pattern like that it's a read between quarterback and receiver. And there's Wendell Davis breaking clear to the inside, and Harbaugh's throw way to the outside. Luckily for the Bears, it was so far to the outside that the Jets couldn't react to it.
And the Bears line up quickly to get the punt away. Buford, fair catch is called for Mathis at the 40-yard line. So the Jets keep the Bears deep in their own territory and then take over after a 49-yard boot. They lead by 3. You can do that on first down. You are in good shape. And the Jets have been starting in much better field position throughout the course of the game than Chicago. And they start in good field position here at their own 41-yard line. First and 10 New York. Jets lead 6-3. Play clock down to 5. Blair Thomas wrapped up as he reaches the 44-yard line. It'll be second down and 7. Trace Armstrong first to get to him.
That's the thing about Blair Thomas I was talking about a moment ago. You look down there, and all the great backs, when it looks like they're hit and stopped at the line of scrimmage, as Thomas was there, they somehow are able to squeeze a yard, 2 yards, and in that case, Blair Thomas got 3 yards out of it. He has the potential to be one of the the real great ones.
He has to stay healthy. That's the key. Hurt in college, hurt a lot last year.
He came in so late, you know, and he never had a chance to really get himself in condition. Reported right before the start of the season. A lot of little nicks.
Even this year, fighting a bad back, but playing exceptionally well tonight. 2nd and 7 at the 44. O'Brien throws, and it's Moore who makes the catch at the 45 of Chicago for a first down. Carrier covering.
Again, outstanding protection, giving Kenny O'Brien the look he needs. Talking about looks, a wonderful shot of the Chicago skyline from the Shamu blimp that's high overhead.
45-yard line.
The town is lit up tonight. Unfortunately, their club is being lit up right now on both lines of scrimmage by the New York Jets. It's not often you say that about the Bears, but they're losing the battle on the line, both offensively and defensively.
First down, Jets at the 45. Dent pressures O'Brien, but he gets it away, and it's caught by Burkett, and he takes it to the 30-yard line, and another first down. Tackled by Donnell Wolford.
That's one of the few times, Al, you've even called Richard Dent's name tonight, and that's for getting close.
And O'Brien was able to step up, and he brought Burkett all the way from the opposite side of the field. And when you start coming with these kinds of patterns, you're getting a lot of confidence that you are going to give your quarterback, who's not a mobile quarterback, a lot of time to throw the ball.
Oh, but what's Kenny O'Brien's, what has his reputation been all these years? The way he can beat you is if you give him the alleys and if you give him time.
30-yard line, 1st and 10. Thomas, nothing. Thanks to Mike Singletary. You run into the middle, you'll run into that man.
Well, there's the Jets version of the counter tray, the counter gap, the counter OT. Every team seems to have different terminology for it.
Unfortunately, they caught the Bears in a slanting defense right into the hole.
There's Vince Tobin, the defensive coordinator of the Bears. He has been here a long time, took over for Buddy Ryan when he went to Philadelphia and actually improved the defensive numbers of the Bear defense.
If not their mannerisms.
2nd down and 10 from the 31-yard line. And this catch is made by Burkett, and he is pushed out of bounds at the 19, and that's a first down by Stinson. This is a smart, well-executed, and well-conceived drive by the Jets. And the other thing they're doing here is they're taking as much time off the clock as they can. Almost every play is down to 2 or 3 on the play clock.
The 5'9" Stinson trying to go with Chris Burkett. He's 6'4", and again, good timing. O'Brien to Burkett. That ball released just right out of the cut and perfectly.
It's early, obviously. There's still a lot of time in the 3rd quarter, but the shorter the Jets can make this game, the better off they're going to be.
And they're already leading 6-3. If they were to score a touchdown on this drive and make it 13-3, the Bears not one of the great catch-up teams in the league.
For further review, play stands is called on the field, completed pass, first down.
And we're taking a look at the feet of Chris Burkett, and it was ruled a catch and a first down.
I think it's difficult to argue with the fact that Mike Ditka is calmer on the sidelines than the more volatile Ditka that was there a couple years ago.
Thomas slips down at the 22-yard line. Mike Singletary is there.
Now first by Armstrong.
Have a moment, and we can check on the race in the American League East right now. Toronto entered the day a game and a half up on Boston, and Baltimore has beaten the Red Sox 4-3. California leads Toronto, though, 5-0 in Anaheim. And again, Toronto leading Boston by 2, but it will either be 2.5 or 1.5 at the end of the night. 2nd and 12 from the 22. And O'Brien throws, and the catch is made by Mathis at the 12-yard line. And they're about 3 yards short of the first. Paul and Morrissey in on the hit.
O'Brien passes complete to Mathis.
O'Brien again with time to get rid of the football. Good coverage on the outside, and he had to hit the crossing receiver.
A gain of 9 on the play. 12-yard line.
3rd and 3 at the 12. 4:35 to go. Third quarter. Jets up 6-3.
Last time they were in this situation, they came with a draw play.
Here is Freeman McNeil getting his first carry of the game, taking it to the 8-yard line. Armstrong and Paul are there wearing those goggles because he was poked in the eye last week, and a big gain here because it'll make it 1st and goal.
The last time, you're right, Frank, they ran a straight draw. This time it was a sprint draw where O'Brien takes off to his right and then hands it to McNeil, and it caught the Bears. Just a superb drive and progress here by the New York Jets.
And a good offensive scheme by Bruce Coslett and his staff. Have been successful with counter plays against the pursuing Bear defense and have made fine calls.
McNeil stays in the game and slotted to the right, and the throw incomplete. Flag down though.
On that.
Rob Moore says, "Give me a flag." He was covered on the play by Marcus Paul.
And he was almost tackled by Marcus Paul.
A flag on the play.
I guess they're going to say that Paul hit him in the back.
Pass interference, number 36 on a defense. Spot foul, automatic first down.
Dropping a linebacker right into the coverage. That's Marcus Paul scrambling. And there was Jim Morris, who was also involved in that. And no question, he gave him a good shove.
Well, the biggest problem, I think, for Marcus Paul is that he wasn't playing the football. He was playing the receiver.
1st and goal, and Brad Baxter takes it in for the touchdown. And the New York Jets move from their own 40. Freeman McNeil leading the way for Baxter on a block, and a big smile creasing the face of Bruce Coslett as they make the score now 12-3 going on 13.
You know, he's probably chuckling and laughing. They probably put that play in particularly for the Bears' short yardage defense. They probably argued about it, had conversations about it, and when it works like that, I mean, you feel so good. You've done something that you worked on all week, and the guys go out and they execute it, and it brings the smile.
Leahy for the point after. Aguiar holding. Jets lead by 10.
And you have to say that Criswell and Cadigan, Sweeney, White, and Eatman, the offensive line of the New York Jets, right now they are the most dominant factor in this football game. Again, take a look. Look at the right side. There's Sweeney. There's White on a double team on McMichael. In comes McNeil, and that is a huge hole down on the goal line. That's an easy touchdown.
IBM.
13-3 with 3:38 to go in the 3rd quarter. Singletary. Defense overall has done a good job tonight, but the Jets defense has done a much better job against Chicago's offense as Aguiar kicks off. And after all of that shifting, it's simply a kick down to the 3 to Bailey. Up to the 22-yard line, and again for the Jets, that's Galvin in on the tackle.
The initial hit by Grimm.
So Harbaugh ready to start this Bear drive from the 22-yard line with 3:29 remaining in the 3rd quarter in Chicago. There they are. They're playing back to the USSR over the loudspeaker here. It doesn't quite have the feeling that it used to have, that tune.
It's amazing what a red light on the camera will do.
The Jets, in their last 5 regular season games, have held the opposition to under 100 on the ground, and they're well on their way to making it 6. Harbaugh first down from the 22. That's Wendell Davis for a minimal gain. Kyle Clifton wraps him up at the 25-yard line. Well, at the very beginning of the show, we talked about the Jets, and they keep trying to turn this corner, and they've been trying to turn the corner for a couple of decades now. Clearly, this would be a very, very big win. They were about an 8-point underdog, and even though they beat Houston last year, that was a mild upset, and they've not beaten any other team they shouldn't have beaten, going all the way back to '88 when they beat the Giants on the last weekend of the season. 2nd and 8, 24-yard line. That's Darren Lewis as the sole setback, and clearly moving Keith Van Horn. An odd sort of move for a man in his 11th year. You don't see that too often.
I think Thomas, too, over on the left side had moved. At least Lagerman was accusing him of it.
Well, Thomas rocked back.
Through the snap.
Van Horn came all the way up.
78 offense.
What they're going to call it on Keith Van Horn.
Down after a 5-yard penalty.
Looked like Harbaugh audibled up on the line. That's what kept everybody down in their stance for such a long period of time. There's Van Horn at the bottom of your screen, and he's up and at him well before the ball. But it looked like Jim was audibling and kept the team there for a long time, and sometimes when that happens, a player will lose concentration.
2nd and 13 from the 19. Harbaugh, the out pattern to Davis, and he should have, or is at least close to a first down. Stargell makes the tackle.
Yeah, real close. This is all on the spot, I think.
Stargell giving Davis a lot of room, respecting his speed. Davis with a 75-yard touchdown pass last week against the Giants.
I think they're going to come in and measure for this one. A good throw, though, by Jim Harbaugh. Tight spiral right into Wendell Davis's hands. And a fine tackle by Stargell.
It'll either be 1st and 10 or 3rd and whatever's left here. 2:10 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Jets on top 13-3. First down.
Perfectly calibrated.
Well, it would be an understatement to say how badly the Bears need a long point-producing drive.
That was the Bears' first down of the quarter. That's Anderson split right, bottom of the screen. Waddle goes in motion. Harbaugh under heat at the 45-yard line. Davis. Forward progress is too close to the 43, and it's very close to another first down. Stopped by Hasty.
Major league delivery there by Harbaugh. He was under a lot of pressure. He was feeling it all around him, and he waited till Davis had made his move. That pass takes a lot of time, and he was right on the numbers with it.
Well, the Jets came with the blitz and didn't get there. See Brian Washington come up the middle. He's got to jump out of the way, and that block is really what gave Harbaugh that extra time to get the completion.
2nd and inches from the 43. And they give it to the rookie Darren Lewis, who makes a nice move after being initially stopped and takes it out to the 50 for a first down. Tackled by Clifton. Rookie out of Texas A&M.
A whirling dervish. Oh. That's quite a spin move. And of course it worked because there was nobody from the Jet defense coming across in pursuit.
Your defensive coordinator, this terrorized you on short yardage when a back spins out of it, because you're down to usually the last man to make the stop.
First down Chicago at the 49, a half minute to go in the 3rd quarter. Bears trail by 10. Harbaugh sends Thornton over to the left side.
Down to 1 second.
Puts Lewis in motion, and they may not have gotten it off.
Well, there's also a move, but that play was destined not to happen.
They're going to get a false start, I think.
Prior to the start, false start, number 57, offense. 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Well, that whole thing, of course, the penalty's on Tom Thayer, but that whole thing is caused by the fact that they lined up in the wrong formation. We're forced to move all the way around to try to get back into the right formation. There's Thayer right in the middle of your screen, number 57, and he jumps up a good count early. But still, that's just, the linemen know what the clock is. They can see the play clock, and everybody is under stress trying to get that play off in time, and that's the end of the quarter.
So the Bears down 13-3 after 3. On the right is the Bears second-team quarterback, P.T. Willis. Peter Tom out of Florida State, backing up Harbaugh.
And he was talking with Greg Landry there, and it looked like they were going over a signal. I wonder if the wrong play wasn't signaled in to Harbaugh last time, and that's why they were in the wrong formation.
Good point. 1st and 15 from the 46-yard line as we start the fourth quarter. 13-3 New York. Jets nearly jumped. No flag. Harbaugh lost one for Waddle, and they mug him.
Oh, yeah. That's where a poorly thrown pass ends up being your best friend.
Blitz was on, and it was delivered by Jim Harbaugh, and Hasty tied up on one-on-one coverage. Never played the ball, played the receiver, and draws the flag.
Well, Waddle saw the ball, and Hasty didn't. It was that simple. Waddle saw that it was severely underthrown, and he's the only one that tries to react back to it and gets trampled. There was Marvin Washington, who came in and right in Jim Harbaugh's face. But see there, Waddle sees the ball, tries to react to it, and Hasty doesn't have a chance. He just runs him over.
Bears at the 26. Anderson and Rouse are the running backs. That amounts to a 28-yard penalty. Anderson on a sweep to the 21. What the Jets have had problems with in the past couple of years in particular, holding leads late. And again, they are faced with this situation, trying to protect a 10-point advantage as we look at the numbers through 3 periods.
You can see that the yardage figures in the Jets' favor. Still only 50 yards rushing through 3 quarters for the Chicago Bears. And the Bears have the lone turnover in the game, but it didn't equate into any points as Leahy missed the field goal.
2nd and 5. Neil Anderson again. And Anderson diving for that first down. Boy, he loves to run left. If you were to run a highlight film of Anderson's career,
he
it would
came close to
include
it, Al.
several touchdowns into the corner of the end zone like last week, and just like that, there's a flag down.
And he just about got the first down yardage on that play, but they're going to bring it back. He accelerates so fast. Now watch him plant that left foot. And he just has a tremendous burst out of it. And then he dives.
Holding, number 63 offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat second down.
That's Jay Hilgenberg, the perennial Pro Bowl center of the Bears, who has a very costly mistake, as that's going to bring it all the way back. What a fine player Jay Hilgenberg is, though.
And at the moment, that penalty would make a field goal very questionable.
Well, they still have some downs to work with. This is second down coming up.
2nd and 15 at the 32-yard line. Five-man rush. And the catch is made by Waddle. Good catch. And he gets just about back to the original line of scrimmage. And it's going to make it 3rd and 10.
Waddle, of course, playing for an injured Ron Morris. Arthroscopic surgery back in August. The other wide receiver for the Bears for several years. He's not fast, and he's getting a little too much respect from Stargell, who's been playing way off receivers tonight.
You know, this Waddle, this guy's got some hands on him, doesn't he? I mean, this is a kid who's not even drafted, signs as a free agent with the Bears, and he's been quite a find for the guys in blue.
3rd and 10. Harbaugh nearly has it picked at the 20-yard line by Lonnie Young, who cuts in front of Dennis Gentry.
Young has made some superb plays tonight, and when you talk to Bruce Coslett about why he's there instead of Eric McMillan, Coslett says with the offenses you meet today, you need a player like a Lonnie Young. You need a player that can cover on the pass because he's going to get himself in coverage, and here he is, and look how much ground he can cover while that ball's in air.
A beautiful look at it.
Oh boy, great look by our guys.
Yeah, great look.
44-yard attempt. Butler, who's made one from 33, missed one from 45.
Nail that one.
Ooh, did they need that? A touchdown will tie it now for the Bears.
13-6 with 12:51 remaining in regulation. Bears trying to stay unbeaten. Jets trying to get to 5 parks, providing the spectacular shots of Soldier Field and all of Chicagoland tonight.
Spectacular weekend. Dan and I were in Champaign for Illinois and Houston, or at least for Illinois, because it was all Illinois.
Jason Verduzco makes his Heisman Trophy bid.
There's Terrence Mathis running back the Butler kick up to the 25-yard line. Jets will take over there.
Craig Janoff, our director, gives us that end zone look, and that's, to me, that's still the best way to look at a kickoff return. That's by far and away the best look.
Bears on that last drive. Butler's 44-yard field goal culminates it. 25-yard line, 1st and 10.
Very important series here for the Jets. Come back out, get the running game going again, stay with what's been working for them.
Thomas and Baxter, the running backs. Thomas, he's been the big man tonight. Wolford makes the hit. You know, one guy who has not played very much since the first quarter is Al Toon. They've been going with Burkett and with the other wideout, Rob Moore. There was a report on ESPN yesterday that Toon was fed up with Bruce Coslett and wouldn't mind being traded. And I talked to him about that today, and he said those weren't my quotes. And I said, was it representative of your feeling? And he said, no, I'm happy with the fans. I'm happy with management. My agent said, would you like to entertain thoughts of a trade? And he said, like anybody, I wouldn't mind bettering my lot. Here's Thomas for a first down to the 36-yard line. He was a little evasive about that, but he was very clear that he has no problem with Coslett. And in fact, he did say that he talks to Coslett more than any other player on the team, in his estimation.
Of course, the players were watching that report just before they left New York, and Coslett heard about it, and Bruce went right to Al Toon and said, is this true? Do we have a problem? Al Toon told the coach straight out, no, we don't.
1st and 10 for the Jets at the 36-yard line. 11:24 to go in regulation. Thomas again. Wolford cleans up after the initial contact was made by Marcus Paul.
Initial hit by Paul.
Big early season matchup from Ann Arbor at noon Eastern, 9 in the morning Pacific. Florida State, the Seminoles, and Bobby Bowden, #1 against Michigan. The Wolverines, #3 this Saturday.
A little West Coast breakfast at Ann Arbor.
That's exactly right, and we've got 3 games coming up at the 3:30 Eastern time slot, all coming up on Saturday.
2nd and 9. O'Brien sacked at the 28-yard line. Richard Dent.
Better late than never. Dent, who was close once. That's a coverage sack, though. Kenny O'Brien stood in the pocket for quite a while, and Richard Dent finally broke free to the inside and got the late sack. And boy, did the Bears need that. Jeff Criswell overreacts to the outside, and Kenny O'Brien wasn't even close to throwing the ball.
And fortunate that he holds on to it, because he takes the full brunt of the 270-pound Drent.
McMichael made him pull the ball down first, but then Richard Dent comes in. You see McMichael go by, but O'Brien still doesn't have anybody to throw to.
And McMichael was shaken up on that play. He comes out. O'Brien can't hear.
Oh, wow. Well, if he thought he couldn't hear that time, wait till next time.
Clock went to 0. And they're going to march off a delay of game back to the 25.
Now for the Jets, it behooves them now to be very careful. Just don't get the turnover. They got the crowd into this one, and the crowd works magic with the Bears. The Bears players react to it about as well as any team I know. They have always been that way.
3rd and 22 at the 25-yard line. And they play it conservatively. Baxter up to the 31-yard line. So the Jets were just as happy to keep the ball and take their chances with a punt and let the defense do it.
The good call. We got a fired up defense. Don't go out and turn it over. We still got the lead. You got a good punter, and your defense is playing well.
Bailey back at the 25. Aguiar to punt. Trevor managed to snap it. Bailey at the 30. And Johnny Bailey takes it up to the 36-yard line where he runs into Brian of Washington. The ball is loose, but the play is dead.
And that's just great hustle. That's the way you return a punt, isn't it?
He was down on one knee and still able to get up. 9th round draft pick last year out of Texas A&I. Good running. Bears, good field position.
You look at Steve McMichael as he takes the rest. The offense takes over for Chicago at the 37-yard line. 1st and 10. Harbaugh, and it's dropped up at the 43. James Thornton was wrapped up by Mo Lewis. Dan mentioned Thornton's arms. I mean, they're huge. He was recruited out of high school as a quarterback by Cal State Fullerton.
Well, when he put the ball in the stomach of the fullback coming up through there, he must have knocked the wind out of him. He oils those babies up too. He comes out for pregame warm-up, and there's all glossy and shiny. He looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger at Mr. Universe.
There's a little nair.
2nd and 10 at the 38. At the 49, a nice catch is made by Wendell Davis. A beauty at the 49-yard line on the ground. Hasty protests.
Well, and I think they'll take a look at this upstairs. I mean, this is one of those plays that is reviewed, and maybe not everyone in the stadium is aware of it.
Hasty slips a little bit on this, but he would never have got back for the deflection.
Oh. That ball was outside, and yeah, they're gonna stop and take a look at this. I mean, that's just a great catch.
It's fabulous.
That's fun. Boy, that is just superb.
The call on
What
the field
hands?
is a completed for 1st down.
He did that for the replay camera.
They're reviewing it. Howard Rowe just told the crowd, the Bears break the huddle. He just said the play on the field is a 1st down. The crowd thought they meant that the appeal or the replay official is going to let it stand. He hasn't decided that yet.
That is a superb effort.
And that, I mean, to me, there's no way they're going to overturn that from the booth. That looks like a grade A catch to me. And that's highlight film material.
Let's see. Bill Fetty takes another look upstairs. Ron Botch and the umpire, and Howard Rowe tells us.
After further review, play stands as called on the field.
6 catches tonight for Wendell Davis. 1st down in Chicago at the 49, 8:20 remaining in regulation.
Davis will have a lot of catches this year. I don't know if he'll have any better than that.
Harbaugh to the 33 to Davis again, and his 7th catch of the night takes him to the 29-yard line.
And it was Davis who provided the big play against the Giants, the 75-yard touchdown right before the half.
And the sleeping bear begins to awaken.
Don't they do this almost every game? They kind of come out, they look sloppy, they look ugly, and then all of a sudden they start to nip, and all of a sudden they get a big play. The defense will get a turnover, or you'll get a Wendell Davis breaking one big.
1st down at the 29-yard line. Anderson to the 16-yard line. Bears also have history on their side. 22-2 in September in the last 6 seasons.
Boy, and give credit to a guy who's been having a tough night and a tough year so far. Stan Thomas, the rookie left tackle. Watch him jump to the outside, and then he's going to pin Lageman back to the inside. Good work that time by Thomas, who's had his share of misfortune. There's the big rookie from Texas.
First down, Chicago at the Jets 16. Jets up by 7. Harbaugh to the 8. Davis again, short of the first by about 2. 6:30 to go in regulation.
Well, Ron Morris out of the lineup. It is Wendell Davis that has taken up the slack.
I guess Morris is back running and maybe back within a couple weeks.
Rouse and Anderson behind Harbaugh, asking for quiet. Neil Anderson. It'll be first and goal from the 5.
Fine drive the Bears have going now. This started at their own 37-yard line. They've done it in the air with big receptions by Wendell Davis, and they've done it on the ground with Neil Anderson.
First and goal, the ball just inside the 5. Anderson and Lewis are the running backs. Waddle in motion. Lewis. Well, they used Anderson as a decoy and gave it to the rookie, and he gets it to the 3. And the Jets try to wrest the ball away, but the play is over. Kelly makes the stop. Pete Carroll's defensive unit being called on once again.
Boy, Lageman again in on another play. Look at Brian Washington trying to get him fired up. Watch Lageman here come in from the backside. This time he gets inside Thomas and comes in and helps Kelly clean that thing up.
Second and goal, 4:40 left in the 4th. Wow, whoa, what a hit by Lonnie Young.
And Lonnie Young, the 2 safeties, rocking him.
Well, if the Jets end up winning this game, well, I can guarantee you that Bruce Coslet's going to give a game ball to Lonnie Young. He has been everywhere, playing the pass, and never better there coming up and supporting the rush. And I guess we can see why Bruce Coslet made the decision to replace that guy, Eric McMillan, with Lonnie Young.
Third and goal. The Jets have not given up a rushing touchdown this season. Less than 4 minutes to play. Out of the eye. Lewis, the tailback. Anderson. Anderson only gets to the 3-yard line where he's stopped by Paul Fraze. It's 4th and goal, and the Bears are going to have to go for it. But first, they're going to take a timeout. With 3:37 remaining. So Anderson can only get it to the 2. 3:37 left in regulation. Still the Jets by a touchdown.
Bring him out one way or the other. Let him force the corner with the option to throw it or run it. He's one of the better running quarterbacks in the league. Maybe even some sort of a naked bootleg with just one trailing receiver in the end zone that he has that option to either run or pass. But obviously the Jets know that as well, and I would think that on both ends they're going to make sure to get somebody well upfield to protect against Harbaugh's ability to get outside.
A little man who can work so well in close, and the defense will be in very tight down this close, is young Tom Waddle.
And the Bears come up with 4 receivers. Gentry, Davis, Kozlowski, and Waddle. From the gun, 4th and goal. Quarterback draw. And he gets only to the 2-inch line. Brian Washington stops him.
The Jets safeties Talked about Young, and now Brian Washington makes a great play.
That was a quarterback draw all the way. The 4 wide receivers were for no other reason than to spread the defense out over the entire field. And Jim Harbaugh, one step back, and here he goes.
Washington was watching him all the way. He was set right in the middle like a linebacker. He did not have a receiver. His eyes were right on Harbaugh all the way. And he made a great tackle right at the goal line. And now the crowd gets into it for the Bears defense.
First down, New York. Inside their 1. Thomas gives them a room as he takes it out to the 9-yard line. A lot of room. Donnell Wolford makes the hit. Big play.
A lot of room is right.
Major play for the Jets.
Well, this helps the Jets a great deal. If they wouldn't have got out this far, you know, a safety wouldn't have really killed the Jets.
About a safety.
Watch Pete Carroll here, the defensive coordinator. Yes, 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 yes. Yeah, that'll get the old heart pumping.
He had the right call defensively. He had Washington keying Harbaugh all the way.
All those late nights are worth it.
2nd and 2 at the 9. And struggling for that first down is Thomas. And if he has it, that's going to force Chicago to begin to take their timeouts defensively. The clock continues to run with 2:35 remaining, and it is a first down.
And gentlemen, how often have you seen in that situation where the Bears just stuff the other team and automatically get the ball back for their offense? And in the most critical series of the game for the Bear defense, as far as stopping the Jets, they just get blown out of there on 2 successive plays and a relatively easy Jet first down.
Chicago just took a timeout, so they have 1 left plus 1 at the 2-minute warning.
And the flip side of that, Dan, is if you're looking at a Jets team that needs to take that one big step, and they might make it tonight. And Bruce Coslett, Dick Steinberg, they've done a wonderful job of turning this team over. Not a lot of celebrated players on this team, but they have been playing great football. They felt they should have won against Buffalo last week. They let it get away from them. Well, they're trying not to let this one get away. Let's look at it again. Now look in the middle. That's Washington. He does not have a receiver assigned him. That's just a good defensive scheme. They had everybody covered, including Washington on Harbaugh.
What a difference a week makes. It was a week ago, it was the Bears stuffing the Giants at the 1-foot line, and now the Bears have it done to them by the Jets.
First down from the 12. Thomas. All he cares about now is staying in bounds at the 14-yard line, and Chicago must utilize its last timeout, and it'll also get the clock stopped after the next play by the 2-minute warning.
Well, if the Bears can just keep the Jets from getting a first down with the clock stopping at the 2-minute warning, the Bears will get the ball back. They will get the ball back. They won't have any timeouts, and they won't have a lot of time. But right now, a first down wins it for the Jets.
Blair Thomas, meanwhile, has hit the century mark tonight. 19 carries, 100 yards, who is averaging a little over 5 yards per carry.
Coupled their running game with last week against Buffalo, and they had 168. Big night against the Bears. Definitely a team to be considered for the future, and I think their future is now. What a turnaround they've done under Bruce Coslett, Dick Steinberg, bringing in all these new people, 28 different players since the regime took over only last season.
Second and 9. Here's Thomas. He works his way out to the 17. So after the 2-minute warning, it's going to be 3rd down and 5, and a flag goes down after the play. And if this is against Chicago, you can write a finish to this one, and you can see Trace Armstrong getting all over Ron Cox, number 54.
Whoa.
Cox may just have taken the Bears totally out of the game.
Son, I'd head for the tunnel.
Oh, I would go over on the Jets side of the field when I leave.
If you hear personal foul number 54, Chicago.
Personal foul.
Unnecessary roughness, number 54 on the defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That could be it. You just got to be aware of the situation on the field. And you always call the one who hits back.
Trevor Maddich was the hittee.
I don't think I'd put my worst enemy in that situation right now.
You might.
I'd have to be pretty mean-spirited to do it.
Well, who is he?
Here's Thomas. Up to the 34, and now the clock will stop with a 2-minute warning, but too late. Singletary makes the stop, and the New York Jets, barring disaster, will have a very happy plane ride back to Gotham.
A true driver's car in a luxury.
Be a long time forgetting.
Yeah, you're right. You don't put yourself in that position.
Guys, Lou Rendy has been with us for years and years and years, our videotape editor for 34 years, and Jack Hughes in audio. These gentlemen retiring tonight, and this crew will never be the same.
Lou was with the original cast of Monday Night Football back in 1970.
They may both of you, along with Mike Ditka and me, all live to 130.
Yes, you bet.
We're into that sort of vein. Congratulations to Don Shutt.
Look at this! Thomas fumbles the ball, and the Bears have it. Steve McMichael comes up with the football.
Lordy, lordy, lordy. A minute and 54 seconds left on the clock. And do you believe this? Do you believe this? I think Steve McMichael strips out the football.
You have got to know the Bears are going to be tackling that ball. They've got it back. Let's take a look.
What?
Thomas covers it up. He's got the ball covered up as he goes through the line of scrimmage.
I mean, McMichael just rips the ball loose from Blair Thomas.
Time is called. They may be reviewing some aspect of this play. Instead, the Jets take timeout. That's what it is. No review.
Look at Steve McMichael get that left hand on the football and just rip it loose.
What a great play by McMichael.
That's why some guys go to the Pro Bowl and some guys go home.
Well, I'll tell you something. Ron Cox just paid the balance of Steve McMichael's mortgage.
Boy. Steve McMichael can have free dinners for the rest of the year on Ron Cox. You're right about that.
That's blood all over the thigh pad of McMichael. I don't believe it's his. And now the look that we saw a moment ago on the face of Ron Cox is on the face of Blair Thomas.
Bears do not have a timeout. 1:54 left. At the 36-yard line. Here's Kozlik's reaction. Oh, boy. Does that say it? My God, he says. At the 36-yard line. From the gun. 4 wideouts. And Harbaugh's in the grasp. He dumps it off, but they're going to call it dead at the 46. Dennis Byrd, their big sack man last year, and what a time for a sack here.
This rule that he was not only in the grasp, but he was in danger, because under the new rule, that's the only time they're going to call it.
Second down and 19 at the 45. Four-man rush. Harbaugh fires into traffic and incomplete. Wendell Davis was there amongst a quartet of Jets. Hasty was there.
I know one thing. There are a whole lot of people out in the parking lots around Soldier Field that are wondering what all the noise is and are probably sprinting back to their seats. All right, it looks like a good throw. Davis has to stop, but Hasty comes right across, the best coverage guy in the Jet secondary, and makes the play.
That was just a great play by Hasty. He covered so much field to get there. And Harbaugh also under pressure as the Jets defense was in on him.
Third down, 19. Harbaugh throws, and it is somehow caught at the 30. when it looked like when the ball was in the air that Hasty might have an interception. But it's going to be 4th down and about 4.
Harbaugh runs all the way over to Ditka to ask a question. What a catch by Waddle. Watch him move in front of Hasty, who just, that's an interception. He actually collides with Hasty, knocks him out of the way, and makes the catch.
They're at the 29-yard line. They have to get to the 25. It's 4th down. And they try it with Anderson for a first down. To the 21. No timeouts. Clock moving 120.
Good management of the clock, and they've got plenty of time.
Harbaugh now will throw it into the ground to let them regroup. 2nd down and 10. 1:10 to play.
And again, Harbaugh runs over to the sidelines to confer with Iron Mike.
There are no timeouts left. Play clock is running. Play clock says 30. Game clock says 1:10. And notice that Landry has been doing most of the play calling, but in crunch time, he goes to Ditka. Second and 10. They throw it out to Waddle. Waddle, does he get out of bounds? Yes, just barely. Stargell for the tackle.
Boy, it didn't look like Waddle made it out of bounds.
I didn't think so either, but you saw the official signal he did.
Well, I thought he got tackled in bounds.
Yes, sir.
In any event, what a game Waddle is playing. Mike Ditka talked about him last night. He said we just couldn't let him go. He just made great plays in practice. Every time we looked up, he was open. He never drops the football. Clutch player. Whoa, he did get out.
He got the feet out.
Just barely. 3rd and 2 from the 13-yard line. And it is a first down. Neil Anderson at the 8. 1st and goal. A minute to play.
Not sure Chicago fans can take back-to-back games like the one they had last week against the Giants and again tonight. Anderson, a good receiver out of the backfield. Just give him a lot of room.
Well, the key here with a full minute left on the 7-yard line is that the Bears can run the football. They do not have to just strictly pass it. They can afford to run the football here.
1st and goal, and they do. Anderson, he gets to the 4. 2nd and goal.
That's the luxury of having a full 60 seconds.
Now you step up, stop the clock.
They can run it again if they want to.
2nd and goal at the 3. Harbaugh sacked at the 9-yard line. Clock momentarily stops, and then they'll wind it again. Lageman with the hit. As soon as they spot it and signal ready for play, they restart the clock. There it is. They wind it.
You notice the matchup here. They moved Lageman out over Van Horn.
3rd down and goal. Harbaugh to the 5. It's going to be 4th and goal as they have one more play. Washington makes the hit.
Now they can't throw it into the ground to stop the clock, obviously.
Here's your ball game.
Don't lose track of the downs here.
One play. Harbaugh throws. Touchdown to Anderson.
I don't believe this. There's no time on the clock.
His 2nd reception of the night. No flags.
They still need the extra point to tie it, but I don't believe it. And how did Lageman not get Jim Harbaugh? I'd say that Jim Harbaugh has arrived. That was pressure play by a quarterback. Here comes Lageman from the right side. He hits the turf. What a play by both Neil Anderson and Harbaugh.
For what it's worth, they're reviewing it, but clearly it stands.
Oh, yeah. And for the Jets, Another one gets away, as it did last week against Buffalo.
Well, it's not gone yet. Butler needs to make this extra point.
And we will go straight to overtime if he boots it through.
OT.
Fourth and goal, the last play in regulation. Neil Anderson has to come back to a low ball, dig it out, and roll back into the end zone.
Mike Grimm a little late getting there defensively. But is this not Bears football?
There will be a coin toss now to determine who gets the first possession of overtime. Richard Dent has gone out to midfield for the Bears. Oh. The Blair Thomas fumble is what set it all up.
Howard Rowe is the referee.
Hit his head. You win the toss. You want to receive.
Jets win the toss.
Receive.
Jets will get the ball. And we'll come back with the first overtime game of the 1991 season after this word from our ABC station. And a flag down up at the 20-yard line. Flag thrown at the 12. Ken Wisenhunt may be called for clipping. Wisenhunt of the Jets.
And that will put a load on the Jets offense.
Wisenhunt, the man who's penalized. Here comes Rowe's call.
Illegal block on the return, team number 86.
A 7-yard return to the 12.
Well, I guess it's only fitting that our two retirees have to work overtime in their last game.
Going to get every last ounce from them. So the ball is at the 6 for the Jets. In overtime, just to refresh a couple of rules, it's sudden death, first team to score ends the game. And if it goes 15 minutes without a score, it winds up as a tie, and you get 2 timeouts in overtime. And it's played similarly to the fourth quarter in every other respect.
And Kenny O'Brien is going to have to struggle to be heard.
That's the closed end of Soldier Field. The crowd right down tight on the field.
O'Brien on first down to Thomas. He takes it out to the 13-yard line. Blair Thomas about the unhappiest guy in this stadium, and the happiest guy clearly has to be Ron Cox of the Bears, who had that penalty enforced against him. Cox is so happy he could go right to the up with people troop.
Jets came right back with the play that Thomas fumbled on earlier.
I know, but look what the Jet offensive line did, though, on first down. Again, a great surge.
2nd and 4 from the 13. O'Brien chased by Armstrong and then throws low and incomplete. He's an eligible man. Trevor Maddox had lined up. He's done that in a number of formations tonight, and we pointed it out earlier. Maddox is an eligible receiver, number 64.
It is their run formation, almost like a double tight end, and they, of course, came with the play action, the bootleg with O'Brien coming out. And O'Brien is not the kind of athlete that's going to take it to the sticks for the first down, and he threw it back across his body, incomplete.
Third and a long 3. O'Brien, well, he gets 3. Did he get the long 3 or the short 3?
Well,
Boyer makes the catch.
No, he's not going to make it.
They're going to mark it short.
It looks like they're marking it short.
They'll measure.
Boyer pleading his case that I was farther upfield than that, but by all appearances, it looks short.
First.
Whoa! Well, then the guy was wrong over on the far sideline where he had the marker. Yeah, because he didn't get to the marker. But the chains are kept on the opposite side of the field. Whoa, what a great spot there for the Jets. Big first down.
Early in overtime, game tied 13-13. O'Brien right into the hands and out of Baxter's hands as Richard Dent put the pressure on. 2nd and 10.
They've had a lot on it for Baxter to handle.
The Bears take William Perry out of the game and put more of a pass-oriented defense on the field. William Perry has virtually no pass rush at all.
2nd and 10 from the 17. Double tight end set with one of them slotted. And that's Wisenhunt, and they send him in motion and give it to Thomas, who takes it out to the 21. And again, they're going to have to convert. It's going to be 3rd down and roughly 7. 2 minutes into overtime. Could that man determine it in his 18th season at the age of 40?
There's a whole lot of green between him and a field goal attempt.
A 55-yard long field goal was against the Bears back in '85.
3rd and 7. O'Brien looking to get it to the 27-yard line, and this time they are definitely short. The catch is made up at the 26-yard line, and it will be 4th down. Mark Boyer, the tight end.
Again, though, we can't go by that across the field, but it is short. The Jets are going to kick. Well, is there any more magic left in Jim Harbaugh and Neil Anderson?
Aguilar to punt. Bailey is at his own 35. Average kick. 32, Bailey. Up to the 39-yard line, so a 7-yard run back. He is stopped by Kyle Clifton. 42-yard kick, 7-yard run back.
Well, the battle of field possession here in overtime, field position rather, certainly favoring the Bears. The Jets had to start after a penalty on their kickoff return, clear back around their 10-yard line, and now the Bears get to start up near their 39.
A reminder, next Monday, RFK Stadium will be wild, as it always is. The Skins are unbeaten, hosting the Eagles on Monday Night Football. Rouse in motion. Neil Anderson. Marvin Washington makes the tackle. Gain of 4. They'll put it at the 43. 2nd and 6.
Again, at this stage of a ball game, what an asset it is to have a running quarterback. Chicago with a slight edge there in total yards, but neither team racking up a lot.
That's the man that they want to handle the football is Anderson. Leading receiver coming into tonight's game, and Bucks player did it last week against the Giants.
2nd and 6. Harbaugh throws, and that's incomplete. Good coverage, and Thornton reaches for his hamstring.
Oh, he pulled up with a hamstring.
Mo Lewis with
Went
the coverage.
all the way down. He came off the line of scrimmage and ran a short out and just pulled up.
That's actually one of the reasons that Harbaugh's throw was so far out in front.
Exactly.
It happened a couple steps before he was trying to make a play on the ball.
It could be a significant injury right now. They have only 2 tight ends on the roster, and now they're down to only Camposo.
Yeah, you can see it
right
go.
there.
Yeah, that's why he wasn't there, Jim.
Now a big third down for the Bears.
3rd and 6.
They go with 4 wide receivers.
It's Gentry in motion.
And they barely beat the clock.
Harbaugh has to get it to his own 49, and he does. Tom Waddle into Jet territory.
I mean, that's a throw Harbaugh makes to the only place he could make it. But by making it in that position, it became an extremely difficult catch. And Waddle somehow comes up with it. And Tom Waddle, a guy I don't think the nation is very familiar with, is really announcing his arrival here tonight. That's a tough catch,
Then
Frank.
he made a good move to the inside. He drove inside and then came back to the outside. This guy is putting on quite a show tonight. Boston College, free agent, 89. They just couldn't find a way to get rid of him.
Reminds you a lot of another BC guy, Brian Brennan of Cleveland. The ball is at the 44-yard line, and they give it to Dennis Gentry, the longtime Bear wide receiver who has done a lot of running out of the backfield on similar plays in his career.
He's
And will
made
the game be determined now by that man, Kevin Butler, instead of Leahy?
Gentry's made some big plays for the Bears over his 10 years. Not all that big, 5'8", 180-pounder. He's been a good outside receiver, good return man.
Well, the ball's at the 41. If they got to the 30, that would be a 47-yard field goal. So you'd think the very least they need to get to the 30 and preferably inside that.
4 wideouts again.
2nd and 7 at the 41. Here's Anderson making the catch and hit immediately. Coming up to make the tackle, Don Boyd Odegaard at the 41-yard line. So now a critical play as they try to move the ball into field goal territory. They spot the ball at the 44-yard line. It's a loss of 3.
That's just one-on-one with Boyd Odegaard out there, and he just makes a sensational open field tackle. Big play for the Jets.
3rd and 10. Out of Butler's range here. If they don't gain a yard, you're looking at a 61-yard field goal. And Harbaugh's throw, and there is Waddle, but this time, no. He does not make the catch. No catch this time.
Well, it's not through lack of effort.
He tried to dig it out. He's saying he did have it. That the official was right there, had a good look at it.
So Maury Buford will have to punt it.
Kenny Wolf, our producer, telling us it hit the ground, and indeed it did. Still, though, what an effort.
Buford to punt. Mathis back at the 10. And the Bears try to down it, and they can't. At the 5-yard line, Maurice Douglas was there and had every chance to down it at about the 5-yard line, and then Kozlowski ran into the end zone, but too late.
Oh, what a break for the Jets. That could have been dead easily at the 5-yard line, right around the 5-yard line, and now they're going to get it out of the 20.
I mean, Douglas is just waiting for this ball to come down, and it's like, I don't know if a gust of wind got it or whatever, but he misread it and came up short. And you're right, what a colossal break for the Jets.
Man, he had plenty of time to get around in front of that ball. He was just waiting and waiting and waiting.
You're right, Frank. He would have been better served to put his body between the ball and the goal line.
8:32 left in overtime. Again, time only matters if you go to the end of overtime, and it ends in a tie. O'Brien going deep for Moore. Nearly picked off by Wolford. Perfect coverage.
Well, for a guy that we weren't sure how effective he was going to be tonight, Donnell Wolford has played a great football game.
Missed all of last week with a hamstring, and he has been covering speedy outside receivers. He's getting help on the inside, but watch him. He plays to the outside. Carrier number 20, he's helping from the inside.
He almost intercepts that thing.
Second and 10, New York at the 20 in overtime. The game tied at 13. O'Brien. This is Wisenhunt, the tight end, and he's got a first down up to the 36-yard line. Ken Wisenhunt, the journeyman tight end, fifth year out of Georgia Tech.
Had a couple of misplays tonight, dropped a ball early in the game. But that time he comes up with the first down. He flirted with losing it for a moment. Nothing the fridge can do.
First and 10 to 36. Blair Thomas gains 3. Singletary makes the hit along with Rivera. 7:30 left in overtime.
Great play by Mike Singletary, fighting off the block and getting in there to make the hit. No, this is not a young Bear front, and as we find ourselves in overtime on the heels of playing a very exhausting game physically last week against the Giants, this is when a guy has to really reach down for it. No problem with him.
And they count on the fridge to get a big surge in the middle and then get help from the outside. Dan and Armstrong.
Second and 6. Dent chasing O'Brien as the pass is thrown to Moore, and that's a first down. He's out of bounds at the 43-yard line. Donnell Wolford runs him out of bounds, and O'Brien, knowing he's going to get hit by Dent, gets it away, and he's right on the money with it.
And Wolford falls down. That's the reason that there's such an opening there. Here's the pressure from the backside by Richard Dent. He just gets around Criswell, who gambles too much to the inside. But then Wolford on the coverage slipped and fell down, and a first down for the Jets.
And Dent eased off O'Brien.
Watch Wolford up here. See him slip and go down. That's why Moore's so wide open.
First down, New York. Catch is made. This is Burkett. He wrestles his way down to the 36, and they are almost in field goal range. Stinson makes the tackle. That man is up past his bedtime, Leahy.
And Burkett much bigger than Stinson, and he was able to carry him for a couple of yards.
Something tells me a whole lot of people on the East Coast are saying exactly the whole thing. They're saying that Leahy's not the only one up past their bedtime.
Second down and 3 from the 35-yard line.
What are we looking at here? A 52-yarder. If they go no farther.
He missed the 52-yarder last week at the end of the game that would have sent it into OT against Buffalo. Thomas. Singletary makes the tackle, and a vital play is now coming up.
That was a vital tackle.
Yes, a vital tackle there, and this is a crucial play. 34-yard line is still I don't want to say out of Leahy's range, but Coslett would clearly be a lot more comfortable with a first down here.
Yes, he'll be right on the edge of it.
You could say that.
Yes.
Again, his long career best was 55 yards, but that was back in '85, and it also was against these Bears.
You know, the amazing thing about Leahy is we're looking at a guy who may go to the Hall of Fame and yet has never been to a Pro Bowl.
Meanwhile, the Bears take a timeout. Timeout, Chicago.
That's amazing.
Waiting in the wings. This drive began at the New York 20. This is the 7th play of the drive coming up. 5:23 left in overtime. And the Jets have been perfect in these situations tonight, converting. And here is Baxter fighting his way for a first down. He was originally stopped. And Brad Baxter, the second-year running back out of Alabama State, has just given New York a huge first down.
And they were attacking the football. Baxter couldn't get free from a Bear who was hanging on to the football.
Richard Dent that time went for the quarterback. Watch Dent, number 95. Right here, he's going to make a decision. Right here, instead of going down the line of scrimmage, he jumps up towards the quarterback, and there's no backside pursuit. And that's the way that Baxter is able to get that first down. Richard Dent somehow thought that Kenny O'Brien still had the football.
Well, O'Brien made a good fake on it, Dan.
Blair Thomas gains 2, stopped by Roper, so they're at the 28, and you're looking at a 45-yard field goal if they don't get another yard. Leahy. Ditka's team trying to stay unbeaten. And they go to Buffalo next week. Armstrong is shaken up, and that's going to stop the clock for the moment. 4:09. Not a charge timeout. That has to be inside 2 minutes.
Almost an eerie quiet
Yes.
has settled over Soldier Field here in Chicago.
And remember, we don't play forever. Overtime in a regular season game. If there's no score by the end of this period, that's it.
Here is an amazing thing that Steve Hurt has come up with. Consecutive seasons as a player in a New York uniform. Look at Leahy. Only Mel Ott in all of the professional sports. Mel Ott, the former great New York Giant, 22 years. The other guy's 18. He has been in a New York uniform longer than Lou Gehrig was in a Yankee uniform.
Only Steve Hurt would find Zach Wheat.
It's an incredible figure. Second down and 8. And the catch is made by Thomas, who comes back to the 23-yard line. There's a marker down, however, back at the 39. If it's against the Jets, this could take them out of field goal range for the moment. But
whoa, roughing the passer. Roughing the passer, and this will move the ball way up.
Unnecessary roughness. Number 50, blow to the face. 15-yard penalty from any of the run. First down.
Well, Mike Singletary comes on the blitz up the middle.
He was insisting. He had his hands in the air. But that quarterback's head is sacred. And meanwhile, a great effort by O'Brien just to get rid of the football.
the penalty takes it all the way to the 11-yard line. That's a half the distance penalty. First and 10 at the 11. And they're going to bring Leahy in right now. They're not going to mess around. With 3:54 left, he has made one from 19. He has made one from 34 and missed from 37. Leahy, the oldest player in the league.
On first down, he better make this, or Bruce Coslett has made the worst call I've ever seen.
28-yarder.
Drive just started at their 20. They were moving it well.
Aguilar puts it down, and Leahy misses it.
That'll come out to the 20. I like that by Coslett. He looked over and he applauded Leahy. He's won a lot of them.
Well, who's applauding Coslett for kicking on first down?
You've moved all the way from 20, from the 20-yard line. Your offense is going well. Leahy just hooks it to the left. Of course, he might have been thinking of the fumble that cost them the game earlier.
Boy, is this a wacky game. Oof.
Now time is a factor. 3:50 remaining.
Now the Bears have one timeout. They're at their own 20. There's Ditka's reaction.
He may live to be 130.
And he's been living right, I tell you. From the 20. Harbaugh throws. Here's Waddle making the catch. And Waddle's trying to get out of bounds, and he does up at the 29-yard line. 3:43 left.
Has Waddle done anything wrong tonight? I mean, this guy is everywhere. Well, an unusual night for Pat Leahy. 2 misses inside the 40. A very unusual night.
7 catches, 93 yards for Waddle.
Look at that effort to get out of bounds and stop the clock.
2nd and 2 at the 28. Harbaugh to Anderson. A first down to the 39-yard line. Harbaugh wants to go without a huddle. Clock running, 3.5 to go, and again they have 1 timeout.
I know you're thinking what I'm thinking, Al. The clock stops. It's a 2-minute warning, doesn't it? In the overtime period?
Yes, it does. It does. And that gives them what amounts to the extra timeout. As we said before, you only get 2 timeouts, but they play the rest of overtime as if it were the fourth quarter.
So the Bears will get 1 extra stoppage of the clock.
Up at the 44-yard line. You know, it's a funny thing. You have to sit and wonder because very few overtime games go this far. Second down and 5 at the 44. The play. He came back and had himself in position as he got between Hasty and Coors. 2:22 to go. So it's going to be 3rd and 5.
That initially looked like it was going to be caught by Davis. It looks like Hasty reacted and went beyond the ball, and Davis had it in both of his hands and just couldn't control it.
Hasty actually had a handful of jersey there.
3rd and 5 now. They send Davis and Waddle both to the right and Kozlowski and Gentry to the left. Harbaugh buying time, and at the 46-yard line, that's a first down. Who else? Waddle.
And what a great athletic delivery by Jim Harbaugh.
Waddle, W-A-D-D-L-E. I mean, get this guy's name down. Where did he come from?
And that stops the clock. The 3rd 2-minute warning of the game. 1st and 10 at the 47.
Which means if they got another 17 yards down to the 30, that would set up a 47-yarder for Butler.
Wow. What a night. Opportunity to score, which they did on the last play of regulation. And now he looks on as the Bears have it at the 47-yard line of the Jets. Tom Waddle in his first 3 games combined, 7 catches. Tonight, 8.
We had a 37-yard touchdown Waddle did against Minnesota in a game the Bears won 10-6.
Bears have 1 timeout remaining. Blitz and a fumble by Harbaugh. And then he throws and it's caught by Kozlowski and he's tackled at the 42-yard line.
There's a bit of a heads-up play by Harbaugh.
2nd down and 5 at the 42.
We need at least a dozen, I would think.
Yep. Ooh, and they snap it. And that's a smart snap because Lageman had come across.
There's a veteran center, Jay Hilgenberg. He saw Lageman come across and knew he had a free play.
Anderson took it to the 37.
Believe me, a center over the ball has peripheral vision, and he can see that thing.
Almost a little nod by Van Horn there, Dan.
Options being discussed now. Anderson being told, do you want it 3rd down and about a yard and a half if you take the play. Here's what he's...
Offside. Number 56 defense. Penalty accepted for 5 yards. First down.
First down.
First down. Well, they had about, I thought, 5.5.
It looked like 2nd and 6 to me.
Well, it looked like that's what they were discussing.
128.
Had enough at the 37-yard line. First down. Davis in motion. Fake give to Anderson and a pass to Davis, and he's out of bounds at the 25-yard line. So they're very much in field goal range.
That was a beautiful play. What a well-designed play, pulling both linemen from the opposite side, faking the counter play, and then having Harbaugh roll out against the grain. This is a brilliantly designed play.
And Dan, you can do it with a good athlete like Harbaugh. He is totally naked. He has no one out there with him, and he's able to get the ball again to Wendell Davis. They get the first down, and now Kevin Butler will be pacing the sideline.
First and 10 at the 25-yard line, and here's Anderson, and he'll eventually try to get it in a position where Butler will be most comfortable in terms of an angle.
You know, if this game holds true to form, Butler's going to miss this field goal. I mean, the way this thing's been going so far.
I believe
it's a lonely world they live in, isn't it?
I'll tell you what, if they wind up in a tie, it would be unbelievably unusual in the sense that this is the 170th overtime game since the rule came in 74, and only 13 of them have gone the distance.
We had one on Monday night. St. Louis Cardinals, Dan's last year.
The New York Giants.
Against the Giants.
Might have been the ugliest game ever played on Monday night.
But I mean, might have been. 2nd and 9. Harbaugh on a roll. Harbaugh throwing to Boso, and they end the game with a touchdown.
Bears football.
They have to be talking about whether or not it was a touchdown. Did his knee touch? You know, his knee might have touched before the ball goes in the end zone, and the teams have left the field.
It would be a fitting climax.
Take a look at this. Here's Boso. Let's take a look. Where does his knee? His knee's down. His knee is not down. I don't think that's a touchdown. It was ruled a touchdown on the field.
James Hasty is the man who racks him up.
I think his knee touched before he goes across the goal line, and we're being told by Kenny Wolf in our truck that they're going to reverse this.
They're going to have to go get a lot of players.
They're going to bring the teams back. Most of the Jets are already in the locker room.
They have to do it. That was not a Chicago touchdown.
Well, the Bears are gone also.
After further review, we have a reversal. Ball is placed on the 6-inch line, a first down.
After review.
6-inch line.
They're doing interviews. Somebody better. Tim Weigel of the WLS and Jim Harbaugh. And this game's not over yet, Jim. This is the wildest ending I have ever seen.
This is it. I've never seen anything like this.
I mean, you may have guys in the shower by now. In fact, the refrigerator who doesn't shower might be gone.
The Jets plane could be halfway to Cleveland for all we know.
All right, now. All right, guys, let's set this up. Bruce Coslett would kick the field goal in this situation on first down. That's what he did before with Leahy, and Leahy missed. Now Mike Ditka has the option of going right for the field goal or stuffing it into the end zone.
I think you're looking at a Harbaugh quarterback sneak.
In your face, Boso wearing a little of the PAT here at Soldier Field.
There are 30.
a clod before, but never a sod.
What a bizarre scene. The players all coming back out onto the field.
Well, okay, it looks like he's getting dressed, though. Fridge is trying to snap his shoulder pads back on, but I don't think he's going to have to play. Now, you're Mike Ditka. Do you try to stuff it in, or do you kick the field goal? I mean, I think you got to try to stuff it in.
You try to sneak it in, if nothing else, with Harbaugh. You've got 35 seconds. You still have your timeout left.
How sweet it is, eh, Jimmy?
He deserves that.
A little premature, but that may be just a rehearsal.
Yeah, that was a great call they made, and they showed a lot of confidence in letting Harbaugh go to the air when they had it well within the reach of Kevin Butler. And it shows that they do believe in him, that he'll protect it. That's the sight.
Look at this. I don't even know if he knows it's there.
Waddle's done it all tonight.
Why'd they turn the lights out? It's getting dark. Here's Jeff Lageman, and I'm telling you, this guy has played just as good a football game as a defensive end can play. He has done everything he could possibly do to help the Jets win.
He didn't save anything, did he?
No.
He turned it loose.
No. And Bruce Coslett, I'm sure, will defend his decision to send Pat Leahy out there on first down.
Hasty is the man who has, for the moment, extended the game.
And here comes Harbaugh out. They're going to play a little offense.
I mean, this crowd left with about 2 minutes to go, came back, left again.
And the only guy in Chicago luckier than Ron Cox is the guy who's going to win the lottery. He is a fortunate young man.
Bears trying to stay unbeaten.
Now the Bears still have a timeout, correct, Al? There's 35 seconds left here, so the Bears still have a timeout that they can stop the clock if they don't get in.
And they should be winding the clock here, and they do.
Yeah.
Harbaugh. Is Boso in motion? And Harbaugh dives in, and we're waiting for a signal. There is none yet. Now there is, and we think the game is over.
Would you believe?
Well, who knows? We may review this one. Don't leave yet, guys.
Harbaugh says, is it over, really?
They'll take a look at it if nothing else.
Don't leave yet. Learn.
They're looking at the same shot you are right now.
He didn't get in the first time.
Ooh. There it is.
The ruling's going to be, was his forward progress stopped? Because he didn't get across the first time.
Play is under review.
But he got in the second time, and the ruling's going to be, did the Jets stop his forward progress? And again, the ruling on the field is touchdown.
And again, of course, Dan, too, is when did the whistle blow?
So they're going to have to see conclusive evidence to reverse the call on the field, which is 6 points.
Bill Fetty, the replay official.
I think Harbaugh was still moving. I don't think they're going to reverse this.
He was still pounding, still driving.
I don't see any way they're going to reverse this. Harbaugh never came to a complete stop. He's hit. He bounces off. His legs are still driving, and he gets in.
He's got it.
It's a touchdown.
Jim Harbaugh has a